But number one question so far, and I really love this, was is it satisfying making a beer that beer lovers think is awful? He didn't actually answer the question, but someone just said it. I guess it's like producing Nickelback albums, and he said, "So this is how you remind me of what I really am."
That is spot on.
I know
dude.
he's actually got some good.
Hey everybody, welcome to the episode of the Hoppy Craftsmen. I am Chris.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Nate.
I'm Eddie.
I am Tim.
Here we got guests.
Whoa! For the first time in, I think, a really long time, we are kind of back at home base, right?
It's been a bit.
Yeah, it's quiet. It's nice.
There's not weird people laughing in the background. There's not babies.
Floors creaking.
I'll start juggling dishes later.
Dishes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Start dancing on the roof.
I'll be
The party upstairs. So, Ed, you've been on the show before.
I have.
We kind of heard all about you, so we don't give a shit anymore. So,
Yeah, I'm
Tim.
old news.
Old news.
I don't care about Ed.
Easy beer enthusiast.
So Tim, tell us about who you are and what you do in the craft beer community in Arizona.
Yeah, so Tim with Arizona Beer Enthusiast. Almost 2.5 years ago, just started a Facebook group. I was out with my buddies from Sacramento, and they were with us at Santan, and I was taking my photos like I usually do of the beer, and they brought up how they have a Facebook group out there, and I said at the end of the conversation, I'm going to start my own out here. Don't prefer my grandma to see every time I'm drinking beer where I'm at. So we got the group started, about 1,400 people in the group now, just, grassroots growth, where you're at, what you're doing, what beer release you're going to, and all that good stuff. So just trying to make
Roll
sure
calls.
the roll calls, yes, Friday mainly. If you're a Tuesday and you want a roll call, please do. Just getting the community together, doing some events, building some relationships in that sense of things.
Yeah, where would you guys just had an anniversary at Ren, right?
Yes.
That was awesome.
Whenever that was.
That was months ago now, I guess.
August or something like
Yeah.
that. We're in house. We did a collab with them on a cask of Spellbinder.
Yes.
Some cookies, oatmeal cookies, strawberries, all
Yeah.
this good stuff.
Heavy on
Same.
cinnamon. That was awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, Luke's a good buddy of mine. So it was a no-brainer for me to ask him since we're always there every weekend, it seems to be.
Right. Well, awesome.
And we are drinking some beers right now, too. Nate, what are we drinking?
Yeah, I had a case of fresh Pliny's in the fridge, and I needed to work through them before they got too old.
No. Talk about how you really presented that. I had these laying around.
They
so I
were
just had to
they
get
were
rid of
there,
them.
and they need to be dealt with.
Here's the drink,
Drink
man.
it quick.
I hate it when people waste IPAs. I hate photos of like 100 different IPAs that clearly got
Sitting in the fridge.
sent across the U.S. and have been sitting in a fridge. So I like to work through my hoppy beer as fast as possible.
Nothing wrong with that.
And no, and I had 2 cases for the record, and this is the second case. So.
Oh, okay.
We're not good enough for the first case.
So,
It's not too bad for a number 2 IPA. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty
not,
good.
It's not like you brought a bunch of bells too hard or anything.
that's right. We can just pick that up at the corner store. That's not fun. It's not fun.
I did have
had
a
a-
Bell's Two Hearted earlier today.
Hell yeah, they're
That was
delicious.
Delicious, yes.
There's a reason.
I love them.
So yeah, you're welcome.
Ed, please tell us about who you are. No, if nobody's listened to the last episode or the episode before this, I'm not sure which one you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Previous episodes with you on it. Please tell everybody who you are and what you do in the Arizona craft beer community.
I'm Eddie Gomez, and I write fictional stories, according to Jeff, about the Hoppy Craftsmen sometimes. But I write a blog, and it's more based on just the brewery experience, not necessarily reviews or evaluations of anything going on. Just my thoughts on what's going on in Arizona, mostly.
Perfect. And you how long have you been doing it?
I think it's been about 6 months now. I started writing basically because people told me to. And it's a nice way to justify going out and drinking beer. I'm not drinking beer. I'm writing something.
Right, exactly. It's research like the
Yes.
BRI does.
Yes.
Your observation from them, right?
Yeah, which is really weird because I work for a laboratory. So drinking out of a beaker is like really
doesn't feel right.
intuitive to me.
At work, do you always like catch yourself trying to drink a beaker?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is not an IPA.
This isn't beer.
The rest of Ed beers are going in that huge Erlenmeyer flask. That's happening.
Now you have an awesome wife who sent along some treats that I see here.
She bakes.
Let's get her involved in this conversation
frequently.
Quickly.
Well, and she made note of your first Patreon supporter.
Yes, let's get that straight.
First on the list.
Right.
She made Whoopie pies, which is for Arizona people and anybody on the West Coast might not know what they are. They're like
That's
a
true.
Dutch, or not Dutch. What are those people called? Amish. It's an Amish dessert.
Who the hell are those people?
It's a
Let's get the beards.
it's an Amish dessert, and it's basically I would say it's a cupcake, but it's kind of the frosting's in the middle. But
Inverted cupcake.
I love that we're describing what a whoopie pie is right now.
Welcome to the Footy Podcast.
The beer and food podcast. That's right.
But she used beer from BRI to bake them. So we have today a morning sex chocolate cake with peanut butter, another one with chocolate, so chocolate. And then she did a pretzel with chocolate and peanut butter. So, yeah.
They sound delicious.
Sounds dirty.
Can't wait.
Nothing goes with beer than just a shit ton of sugar.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Welcome to your hangover.
I'm being super happy later. So thank you and your wife. Thank her for us.
I will.
Profusely.
She's
Thank her.
awesome.
What you should do is you should give her a can of beer
That you brought.
That I brought for her to thank her.
And I'll forget it and I'll just blame you.
I should have brought one of my extra appliances just laying around.
Yeah. You just got them hanging from the rafters.
Yeah.
So we, like Jeff said, we do a rapid round, which never
It's
is
not
rapid.
very rapid.
It's not.
Up to now.
We're gonna call it slow round.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a better name for
It'd
it.
be rapid round if we sent you guys these questions ahead of time. Then it'd be rapid.
Well,
What's the fun in that?
it might be rapid.
Usually get better answers when they don't have a chance to think about it.
Ed's already answered them, so he might be able to answer.
Oh, Edge, you've already answered. Well, you can answer them again.
Yeah, they'll probably change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
perfect. Good.
I really want people to go back and listen to the other
Definitely
episode.
change them, so then now they have to go back.
Check back episode.
That
two
fucking
episodes before
hypocrite. He's
this.
full of shit.
Check the quality of this guy. Ed, we will start with you, and then we'll go to Tim. Great. This way. Gateway beer.
Gateway beer. Last time I said it was the Rogue collab with Voodoo and the peanut butter chocolate that they did, but I will change it to be more Arizona specific. And the thing that really got me on, which is appropriate for this time of year, is the candy bar milk stout from McFate.
Nice.
At Fate at the time.
Nice.
I believe this year was probably the closest to the original batch, and it's just an amazing beer. That's what really made me want to dive into Arizona beers and breweries.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Tim?
Ooh, technically it would be Dead Gallo.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, back in
All
the
right.
day.
It's just with your rogue thing, Ed.
Yeah, yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Told my rope.
I think that was, pretty one of the first ones to get distributed.
That's a good one.
Yeah. The local one would be Refuge IPA, Arizona Wilderness.
Yes. Can't go wrong there.
Yeah, I mean, both good beers. I think we drank, and Jeff used to have a fucking shelf full of those XS bottles from Rogue, all those swing top ceramic bottles.
I still got them. They're just
In the ground.
they're out in my
Just laying around like
my
Pliny.
garage.
Those bottles were bad.
dungeon.
Yeah.
Those are empty, though. We drank those ones, don't worry.
There's no risk of those going
I got a
bad.
15-year-old bottle of old crustacean. What?
Ooh, there you go.
I got a 10-year-old bottle of barley wine somewhere.
Barley wine is life.
We gotta drink that
Barley
thing.
wine is life, okay? I live and die by that. I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
Nice.
Yes.
So the next question is moped beer, which a beer that you'd be afraid to drink in front of your friends, or embarrassed at least, not afraid.
It's fun to drink, but you don't want to have your friends catch you drinking it.
Hams. Seriously, I had one at Yucca.
Ladies
like,
and gentlemen,
not too
Justin
long
from
ago.
Wandering Tortoise.
And at Yucca, when you're at, it's the perfect combination.
Yeah, if you've ever been to Yucca, hams I think goes pretty perfect
Oh,
there.
it's perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a ham bar.
Solid beer for a
mean,
for a ham.
I
Solid
love
beer for a
Yucca
ham.
Tap Room. Tons of memories there. And you put a hams. Ooh, okay. I'm not afraid.
Hell yeah, there you go. All right,
My last answer was, I think it was Dos Equis.
they're not gonna listen if
I
you
know.
tell them.
No.
Well,
No, they'll be like,
they don't give a shit now.
all right, fresh start. I've
God
never been
damn
here
it,
before.
Ed.
So,
Fuck.
moped beer now, currently, I would probably say,
Yeah, what's changed in the last 4 weeks?
hey, I drink a lot of beer, man. If you
Perfect.
see my Instagram, and Here's the one thing I will say. My Instagram is real time. I'm not posting at 8 o'clock in the morning a beer. If I post a beer at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's because I'm drinking at 8 o'clock.
Hell yeah.
That's faux pas.
But no, I'll stick with Dos Equis. You could buy a 12 pack of it in bottles or cans and just drink the living shit out of it and hide in your room.
All right. I like that.
Staying with it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ask the next one. Your deathbed beer. Go ahead, Chris, if there's any other additional to that. I can't read your goddamn right now.
My writing.
I know. I can't. It's just the font. My bad. It's a computer.
That doesn't seem to.
I know.
Can I
That
pull
didn't
up
seem
my
to go
Untappd
like
real
Nate
quick?
wanted
I
to.
was confused on this one. So this is basically like your death row meal, right?
Right. If
Yeah,
you-
it's a good one.
You're going to be executed in 30 minutes, and they say, last meal, last beer. What would you order?
Right.
I'm gonna order the hottest chicken wings that are available.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck
Why
that.
not?
Go out with your nose running like
yeah.
shit.
You can be in pain.
Yeah. Well, fucking do it.
You're like, wait.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm
Hold
not
on.
upset. And then
All right,
you-
throw it on me.
And then I'll just throw, since we're going with the hot, I'll go with the Oh My Gatos from McFate with the they make a chili version of it. So
Nice.
just hey, maybe I'll light up like a rocket and just take off.
Ed's about to be executed, and he's literally Googling what will make me shit immediately.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna do it anyway, so might as well make it exciting.
If you're going to go out, may as well be flashy.
make
take you
everybody,
guys- it's gonna
make
take you
everybody
while
clean
to-
up after you.
Dude, a case of jalapeno sculpin and a kickback of fucking Pepto.
There you go.
Oh, you lost me.
Funny thing is, I'm over here literally
don't-
trying
I
to
don't-
find
Yeah, Tim's
what
looking through us.
beer
He's like,
what if I
I would
love-
want.
What if I
I would
love
ask
most?
for probably like 30 minutes of Untappd time.
This is a rapid fire round.
Just-
Okay, can I have
Hold
my
on.
cell phone for 15 minutes to
Yes.
go on Untappd?
But in Tim's defense, I'm pretty sure I couldn't answer that question either. There's so many, and again, I would sit there and I would literally have like an existential crisis trying to figure out which beer I wanted to be my last.
You would think more about that than the crime that you committed to get on death row.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I almost at the same point is, does it really matter? Oh. We didn't get to that now anyways. But no, I mean, I would
it
have
matters.
to literally, I would want something that is going to punch me in the face, boozy, but at the same time, something that I can sit on. I don't have much time left, so I might as well
You
have
want it to
something
be
that
able, you want it to be able to
warms
warm
up,
in the glass and
Yes.
enjoy it. All right.
What's
I
that-
like this.
what's
Where
that
are you going?
contemplate life.
What's that stupid high ABV beer
Really
that comes
swirl it
comes
around.
inside a fucking dead squirrel?
That,
Okay, that's going a little too
no.
far.
Fuck.
But I mean,
Was it thermonuclear penguin or something like
Those
that?
the UK beer company did that.
Yeah,
Brewdog.
Brewdog did it.
Yeah.
It's the same company, but it's a different beer.
Right. Well, they do the Sink the Bismarck
Yeah.
we had too was what, like
50% alcohol or some crazy
That was
ass.
stupid.
It was dumb. It didn't
was-
taste good.
it tasted like just like whiskey.
tasted like shit.
Yeah, I've drank booze with dead rats in it. Like that's a thing.
I don't think that's a
they,
good thing.
They literally take a
was like a
squirrel
heads
that's
up.
like stuffed, and they actually put the bottle out its mouth, and then you pour out.
Yeah,
you
they-
pour the
yeah,
bottle,
it's just an accoutrement.
They taxidermy a squirrel and wrap it around the
yeah,
bottle.
taxidermy is square. That's what I'm trying to say.
Taxidermy is art.
It's true.
Just to go along with it.
Tim, this is Tim's first time. He doesn't know we're that fancy.
Yeah,
down
I
with
don't
it.
even think I used the right word for the instance, so I don't think we're that fancy.
sounded great.
But nobody on the listen to this podcast is going to see his hand motion when he did it. So
Just imagine that Italian like,
What's a come on a
index
goal?
finger. Yeah. All right.
What's the matter, you?
all right, so a beer that you would decline under any circumstance. Like if you went to like a barbecue and somebody's like, "Here, man, here's a beer," and you're like, "Hey, no," and you hand it back to them.
Shock top.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Why?
Yep.
Isn't that just Tang?
I agree with that.
Nate's changing his now.
Shock, yeah.
I don't think I've ever answered these questions.
Yeah,
You said
I'm-
said peaches before. Anything with peaches in it.
No, that was a question. A peach beer? No, it
Yeah.
says beer you to decline. That was anything you put in a beer.
We're gonna get really
Oh.
specific.
Oh,
What
don't
peach
fuck
beer
with
would
me.
you not drink?
Any. I no, there's a couple. There's
Which, yeah, Peach Among Worlds from 12 West. We love that.
yeah. It was
Peaches
good.
and cream from
was
Wren
good.
House.
Wren
That
House
was
peaches and
amazing.
Do you like
It was
peach
good,
O-rings?
but it was good for a peach beer. If I can, be, you know what I mean? Like I don't like. I'm not a fan of peach beers. Like I liked Peach Among Worlds, but I wouldn't be ordering beer like a bunch of it. You know, so I don't like peach. You know. So, but I love the 12 West, so that's hard to say. So hopefully Noel doesn't listen to this one, and we're set.
He's going to.
Yeah, Noel apparently likes the show, so that's. But Noel knows how much I like Frontside, and he appreciates that. He knows how much I love that beer.
Now you're just doing damage.
Yeah, I am. I actually am. But anyway,
I'm going to stick with my choice of Corona in a can.
God
It
damn
tastes
it.
like fucking dog shit.
Stop telling people what they said in the other ones and go listen to the old one, Ed.
But
that's true.
I didn't say. I
said you
changed
stuck
my
with
mind.
it.
Yeah, I stuck with it. So I'd be
Which
like,
is to
what did he
lie.
say
No,
last time?
no, lie about it. And,
All right.
no, never mind. Fine, whatever.
People wouldn't. By the way, people wouldn't like me if I didn't provide my real opinion. Well, not that people like me, but people wouldn't like the show. Like that makes it more interesting, right?
True.
Yes.
Thank you, Tim.
Be opinionated.
He
Yeah,
really likes
don't be-
writing on Yelp.
Yeah. Go. All right. Next question.
All right, next question.
Next question.
One thing that should never be in a beer.
Peach.
God, this is the one that was peach. See?
Peach.
God damn it.
What?
I don't know.
Agreed.
Lactose.
Really?
Don't say a straw because
You don't like
No,
any?
it's fake.
So
no,
that,
I had a
isn't
beer with a
milk
straw last night.
lactose?
okay. I was gonna say. All right. Yeah. I was gonna
Get
say
outta
that
here,
takes
Ed.
away a lot of beer out of there for you.
I didn't say lactose. I said milk.
So
Well, what's-
so goes
I mean-
any milk porters. Milk
Well, you're not very
stouts, there-
specific
there
on your
goes it
questions. I
out.
could say fucking rocks. All right.
Boom,
Don't
there you
put
go.
rocks in your beer.
It's meant not to be.
Agreed.
Public service announcement. Don't put rocks in your beer.
Ed's
You could
done.
do a whole
Ed's
episode.
done. Tim, go.
Yeah.
You know what?
hey, just drink a beer and
That's-
have fun, dude.
Ed got mad about that one. It's a stupid question.
No, I don't know.
dumb
This is,
fucking
this is a
question.
good question.
Stop
okay,
making Ed
don't listen
mad.
to Ed.
Yeah, I feel good
Because
about it.
I don't know.
I didn't
I
write
mean-
it, so Chris did. Don't worry about it. You can hate it. It's all right.
That's true.
Oh man, this is a good question. I mean, what do they put in Bud Light?
Hey, you know what?
They put hey.
Fuck, that's what I meant to go over this show. I read an AMA that the head brewer for Bud Light did, and he is
He loves
passionate
it.
about that beer.
Loves it.
He is
Props to him.
passionate about that beer.
Props.
They do the 4 main ingredients of beer.
Clydesdale urine,
No.
Rice?
Yeah, rice.
rice.
Corn?
No corn.
Barley.
It was
water.
water,
Rocks.
rice, hops,
Rocks.
It was everything but yeast. put that.
everything but yeast. Yeah, so there's
Didn't
no.
say-
But they
there's
brew
no
the hard way,
alcohol.
The
so
four
let's
main
not give them a hard
ingredients.
time, guys.
I mean, it's tough. Stuff did it the hard way.
Tim, come
They
on.
brew the hard way.
They brew the hard
Actually,
way.
they do a really great job of watering it down once they get
Oh, I
to
thought I
the
didn't know where you were
level.
going with that. I was like, damn, Tim, it's
Oh.
PC.
Oh, I can go places.
Oh, you want to go somewhere? I'll take you someplace.
So your favorite place to have a beer?
Look at me. Ed?
Nate, you never answered the question
Ed's
before.
answer's BRI.
No, that is not my answer.
Per your Instagram, it's BRI.
No, I am not that kind of fanboy.
Okay, whoa.
Yeah, he's not wearing the hat today.
Yeah, I have no BRI
That's true.
apparel on. Favorite place to have a
Do
beer?
they make underwear? We don't know.
I mean,
Some places make.
Matt would totally make underwear.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Probably, he would, yeah. Favorite place to have a beer?
If I had to answer that question, I'd say it's like a time, like AM, like in the morning. I like a good beer in the morning.
Before work.
I had a beer like 7 this morning. Hung out with my daughter and had
7?
Eggo waffles.
7 a.m. is not a place.
Wait,
Yeah, it's a time zone though. And wherever I am at that time.
please tell me you had the Lego My Ego from.
I did. I took a photo of it, but I was
you
like,
have
and I was gonna.
waffles
With
with it?
waffles?
Yeah.
I
I
haven't
had
done
waffle.
that yet.
I did that. I did
I was
that.
saw
gonna.
your
I was gonna
photo.
post
You
and be like another, an unoriginal Lego My Ego photo.
Ego.
Ego. I know. People. I don't care though because there's fucking waffles on the can. So
That's why they did it.
I know.
What was it? We used to say
Marketing.
Yeah, there's the
Damn it.
obligatory waffles and Lego My Ego and
record-
Stranger Things and Lego My Ego.
For the record, I'm not oblivious. I assumed it was Ego, but I just don't like that. You know, I want to say Ego.
We said
I want
But
to.
it's called trademark.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, but that's
copyright issues.
But
will
I
prevent
figure if it's
copyright
trademark, they're like,
Whatever.
okay. So if it's trademark, I figure they're like, we gotta say Lego My Ego, but you can say wink, wink. You can say Lego My Ego.
Yeah,
I disagree because I ordered one
Yeah, well,
last year's
fuck
Lego
that
My
lady,
Ego,
okay?
and that chick lit me up. I was
Give a
like,
sh- oh, I wish I could have met her. I've been Lego
like,
My Ego.
wow,
Can I
you're
get another
very
Lego My
angry.
Ego?
which is funny is we for a long time like and I know I said it. I hear other people say it still. They said you mean the refugee IPA.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw one of the original
not the
Facebook
same
comments
thing.
from the brewer where he was
No.
like, "Hey, it's Untappd at Cornish Pasties," and they said refugee. What is it? He's like,
Yeah, dude.
refuge.
Did they
IPA.
say hand yourself a fucking tack hammer because it's not even spelled correctly, you piece of shit?
I did. I said it for a while. I was like,
Beat yourself over the head with this, you dumb motherfucker.
You just don't serve that person that beer at
Except
that
for
point.
Nate.
Come on.
I just think that that's not even the same thing.
We don't have that
literally
beer
said that for a long time.
anymore on tap.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
there you go.
Anything
the
else
nice
I
way
can
to say
get
it.
you?
Yeah, but see how the ego
Well, I'm
works
just
out
nice,
for
and
you.
then you.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
I wish
Hoppy
I'd have been
Pop.
there with you, Jeff, because I'm like, oh, really? Can I get another fill to Lego my ego? Just never said it properly, ever.
Welcome to the Hoppy Craftsmen podcast. Just do it.
All right, you can answer that question now, Ed.
Loving it.
Best place to have a beer
I'm loving it. That is just the themes. That's the quote of this episode.
outdoors, anywhere outdoors.
Yeah.
By a pool, by a fire, in your parking lot,
In the morning.
in your car, in the morning.
7 a.m.
Yeah. When you're walking out of a wilderness with 2 cases.
Yeah.
Pop 'em in the-
What are
pop
those
'em in the
guys
parking
doing with
lot.
all those cases of beer, you think?
Oh, they're
You
shipping
think
them
they're just
out.
mailing them out?
Oh, yeah.
When you walk out of when they walk
Trade bait.
Like
They,
when-
trade bait.
Well, they're on Beer Connect, aren't they? So
Well,
they
they
have
are.
that distribution where they're one of the only breweries like in Arizona. I think.
Oh,
that
you can literally get a case of not a case,
you
but
get a keg.
you can get a keg of Refuge for like $105 or something like that. I just looked at the other day because I still dream about it.
free advertisement for $105 kegs here on.
Fuck the shipping and the shipper sucks. So enjoy the rest of it.
How much is the refugee?
You're gonna pay full shipping whether you live in California, or Arizona, I imagine.
How much is refugee on there?
Refugee.
How much can you get a
Just makes me
refugee
think of
on
Tom
the
Petty.
internet?
Oh, I think it's Tom Petty.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Let's go, Tom.
Welcome to what's the Oasis?
Yeah, okay, no one understands that joke.
I know, but we do, so it's all right. I like
All
it.
right, you guys can answer. Oh yeah, Tim, you can answer that question.
Eddie stole my answer.
Outside?
So,
It's
yeah,
unori-
come on, like,
unoriginal.
where else are you going to want to drink a beer
On a
outside?
mountain?
On my ass in front of my couch.
In Nate's kitchen with Legos and his daughter.
No, I was on my
Wait.
couch.
Not
Yeah,
Legos.
couch.
Legos.
I mean,
But
come
my
on.
time, but my place was a time, so anytime in the AM. 11's too late though.
That's like almost like coffee. You got to cut it off.
Yeah, you can't have a beer at 11. That's
Yeah,
weird.
come
Wait till
on.
4 or 5 at that
Ugh.
point, or 2 or 3 at that
Have your
point.
lunch.
Yeah, don't make it weird.
What's the next big trend in craft beer, do you think? Or what do you guys hope it would be, I guess, at this point? Because you don't make beer, so.
I'm gonna think about
Honestly,
this one too.
I really hope somewhat go back to the basics of Kolsch's,
Oh, we're headed there.
back to like more German European beers, IPAs. I'll drink them till I die. I'll get that next haze craze, but I think if they go back to the basics, that's where sometimes you have to brew
That's true.
longer. It's a little more difficult. It's sometimes a situation. So
That'd be cool to see some local breweries doing some like Oktoberfest beers and
well,
stuff
they
like
do.
that. But
That's the point. But if people were to understand the basics of where beer came from, get back to enjoying those beers as well, not just being I need that new IPA. That it better be bourbon barrel aged.
Bourbon barrel-aged IPA?
Well, I mean,
I know.
Coffee,
They do have
bourbon
those.
barrel aged PA.
Gross.
I'd drink it.
I'll still drink it. Yes,
Yeah,
but, I mean, but yeah, come back to the basics. There's nothing wrong with that.
I agree. If you go like the German beer laws are amazing. Like
We're stealing
Yeah.
answers over here.
Yeah,
he says what I want to say. I say
That's
it's
super
perfect.
interesting for our show, Ed. Thank you.
Don't worry, Ed.
I agree.
This
yeah,
will be the.
I agree.
in today's
agree.
world,
Not
you're not allowed
silence.
to agree whatsoever.
It's going to be the
Ditto.
Making us look good.
2 times.
Ditto. Oh, look who joined us.
Yes.
Jeff's on the show.
No, I would like to see a trend back to like pure German brewing. Like,
Well, so
Yeah, we have a buddy, Wes, who was at Richter. He felt the same way about that kind of stuff. That was,
right.
If you, I mean, if you talk to some
German
of the
beer
brewers,
puts
that's
you on your ass.
yeah. That's what they enjoy doing sometimes. I mean, everyone wants an IPA or depending on season, maybe that porter or stout. But if they're able to sometimes just relax and let a beer rest and do its natural thing, they can get creative.
Well, and we talked about it, like Kyle that brought it up that we talked about this too, and he said lagers as well. But he's really interested to see how that's going to go over in the desert because lagers take more time to actually sit and ferment, right? So you're taking basically up a whole fermenter that could be doing something else in it, right? So you can't really get that beer out there, and then how to keep them cool, right? I mean, we're in the desert. It takes a lot of energy to be able to keep this beer cool for that long a time. So, do you kind of follow the trend and go with that, or do you actually, buck that and use that ferment for something else? So this should be interesting if that actually happens here. But I think we've heard it a lot from people. The same thing. It's like lagers and more traditional stuff.
Well, I mean, Goldwater is a perfect example right now.
Yeah.
They got the whole basement down there, and they're really
Yeah, that's
dedicating that just to that style.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Because they can take the time, space, weather. It's on their advantage when it comes to that.
yeah, and their basement is like a natural like 62 degrees year
Yeah,
round.
that's-
That's the thing. I
disagree
mean,
with that.
people say like there's a lot of money in cooling
Yeah.
costs
Have
in
you
Arizona.
seen Ren's fridge?
Yeah, but
Holy
Arizona
shit.
has pretty stable weather. That's why
Yeah.
companies like Intel are here.
But
It's
Drew will
like-
tell you that's no fun.
Yeah. I'd be the first to tell you.
it's hot. But I mean, that's why companies like Intel are here because the weather's stable. It might be hot,
Right.
but it's consistent. So you can put a lot of money into cooling stuff because you're going to be consistent year round. But who knows? I don't know if a small brewery can invest that kind of money to keep beer that cold for that long.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any really good beer geek out moments? Like you met somebody from a brewery, or met like some, you were at some festival, you saw somebody like was like, that's fucking this person, or you got to meet somebody.
In the beer industry?
Yeah, or just kind of a beer geek out moment, like you're fucking like, that's fucking.
I met the San
so-and-so.
Diego Chicken one time at a Firebirds game. Does that count?
Was he drinking?
He must have been.
He was probably
Yeah,
hammered.
he does.
He was hammered.
He does for that job, I'll tell you. Come on, the San Diego Chicken.
You're probably
You're
drunk.
not sober for that job.
So yes, that does count, Ed.
Yeah, the hard part of that is probably 90% of the people who listen to that have no idea who the Firebirds are in Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Hockey team.
Yeah.
All right.
That was back at where the Giants are for the spring training, isn't that?
Yep.
I went to one of those games. It's a good team.
We went to one of those games. They were here for how many
We're
years?
spiraling out.
I never went to anyone. Don't worry.
Sports.
Sports talk radio, food,
Make the play.
food, pastries, sports. What else we got on here? Music. I don't know.
We're not doing any of it well.
All right.
Arizona sports are a disaster, so we don't even want to go down that road.
Coyotes have got 2 wins now, and they won last night. So
Go Yotes.
fuck that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Anywho,
Official Coyotes, official hockey team of the Hoppy Craftsmen.
Not
about
safe.
the-
Get us
about-
a goddamn suite.
Unofficial, but official.
What about the Tucson Roadrunners?
Yeah,
I think you
well,
should
yeah,
aim
they're-
low.
Yeah, no, aim high. Trust me, we can get a suite at Glendale. That's aiming low enough.
All right, so
Okay.
this will
Well-
be the last episode of.
Oh, you guys give us too much credit. You need to look at these download numbers.
People listen in Sweden don't give a shit. They're not going to say anything. Don't worry.
Ooh, the Coyotes. Yeah.
Hey, they got a couple of Swedes on the Coyotes, so
yeah.
Yeah, Oliver's family's listening, and
Yeah.
a couple of his friends. But anyway,
My
it's,
friends?
It's
'Cause
about
I-
time. It's about time for a break.
Yeah, that works for me.
All right, be right back.
I'll be right back.
Oh. There we go.
no.
No, Nate,
And
we're
we're
not.
back.
Sorry.
God damn it, Tim! You're stealing all Nate's shit.
I think of SNL.
You have to use that too. We are back now. No, let's make Tim's the guy now. We're back. Son of a bitch.
That's not a very good welcome back.
Unpause. Pause.
Cut the last fucking.
Nope. It's recording it. Let's keep going.
Welcome back, guys. I thought. Oh yeah.
Okay, this has to be just straight live. We're good.
That's par for the course for this one.
No, I
It's
know
not
how
my
it is.
fault.
Maybe-
Tim fucked this up by saying we're back, and I didn't know we weren't using that one
didn't know
anymore.
we were recording.
I didn't know we weren't using it. I thought we were using it.
It's because Tim stole your outro.
Yeah, well, he did a good one. It's all right.
Everybody's on a sugar rush right now.
Yeah, we're full
Thanks,
of whoopie
Cena.
pies. Nate's full of whoopie pies.
Yeah, I am. I am a whoopie pie. So,
That sounds like a euphemism.
Moment of silence to get the.
Yeah, we're back. This is how we do it. Tim, if you've listened to our show before, we're not.
Oh,
like,
I
just-
listen. It's usually pretty free flowing, it seems, but it's.
oh yeah, free flowing to where.
well, the problem
What the
is
fuck does
we're
that
usually
mean?
around like professional brewers and other
Yeah.
people, and we feel like we should be like a little bit more professional, maybe.
Yeah, like we
You
care.
guys,
Like
I'm
we
sorry.
care about their opinion and stuff.
That's what I was saying without saying it. Thank you.
Yeah, like we want them to invite us back, and we don't care if you guys want to come.
We
back.
do stuff.
We
and
care.
things.
You
We
jabronis,
care.
we don't care. It's fine.
We have to act like we don't care.
yeah.
All right.
So Nate had an article he wanted to talk about.
I didn't really have an article that I want to talk about, but I did have a few. I didn't want to touch on this Ask Me Anything for
There you go.
an AMA. I would have rather just call it that, but Chris got real confused. The head brewer for Bud Light did, and I just first off, I love the title. Brewing Bud Light is harder than you think. I should know. I'm Dave Taylor, head brewer for Bud Light. So that's a good one.
Yeah, because when I think Bud Light, I think Dave Taylor.
Yeah, you think difficult too. You think it's hard to brew. It's tough stuff. But number one question so far, and I really love this was: is it satisfying making a beer that beer lovers think is awful? He didn't actually answer the question, but someone just said it. I guess it's like producing Nickelback albums, and he said, "So this is how you remind me of what I really am."
That is spot on.
I know
dude.
he's
It's
actually got some good
that's great.
responses here.
That's the best because
you remind me.
he literally
Yeah.
threw nickel basic. That's genius.
It's good. It is good. There's the typical questions like, what is with the recent smear campaign commercials from Bud Light and Budweiser about how ridiculous craft beer is? And he gives a pretty canned response for we don't see it as a smear campaign because Anheuser-Busch has many craft beer partners.
That's true, they do.
They do, 10 as of the writing of that article 1 month ago. What's the last AB InBev buyout? Does anybody know off the top of their head while I find something else to say here?
What was the last one? What was the last one?
Ooh, I don't remember.
It's not for me to answer.
It wasn't Wicked Weed. They did one
They did
since
something
then.
after. Oh,
No, and then
I think-
what's the San Francisco one was Sapporo, right?
Right. I think.
Yes,
I think,
that was one of the last ones.
But that wasn't the last.
That wasn't
Sapporo
ABM.
bought Anchor
Anchor.
Brewing. But
So that's my question. It's like everybody made a big kind of stink about Anchor selling to Sapporo, but they were already like a semi-large corporation to begin with. What do you guys think about smaller breweries being cannibalized by other smaller breweries and just like consolidating like regionally?
The Clown Shoes just did that.
yeah, I was going to say, who
Yeah.
clown shoes just get bought by?
Har-
Yes. Yes. That's as much as
That
I know,
brewery.
too.
I will
And
double over
I
that.
didn't know who that brewery was that bought them out, but you see that and it's interesting. Like, obviously they're trying to go around big brewery, but they're still trying to make sure
They
they're
still
doing
want
the
more
same-
money.
Exactly.
They still want the capital.
Well, so I mean, like Oscar Blues bought Cigar City, right? So that kind of thing is that as bad as like AB InBev buying like Four Peaks or whoever, right? Is it like it's like that kind of
It
dynamic?
is. It's just not. I don't know if it is. I
To
don't
me,
know.
to me, it's not. I mean, if I see smaller breweries buying smaller breweries and becoming one bigger one, it's kind of a necessity of the marketplace, right? If they can help each other become bigger together, maybe. But
I think it just leads to the question that what is craft beer at a certain point when you own that much, when you produce, when you can change quickly, when you can produce new beers on a dime, when you can just do firkins whenever, when you can do whatever. What is craft beer really? If you're that big and you can't change that
Well, it's
fast?
defined, right? Like there is a legal definition
Right,
of
but
craft.
I
brewery.
mean in the true essence of like
Oh, yeah,
Ren
the-
House, these people doing beers that are just all the time coming out with whatever they want to make and they change it all the time. Independent brewing, and it's what is craft?
Well, I think of it as a
Wow,
former
look at that
musician.
existential question.
Because we're done with that AMA bullshit.
It's true, but as a former musician, I think of it as a band that wants to make it big, like Nickelback, but they don't want to necessarily sell out and come to that big record company because then they're not in control of what they do. So they find their own independent way. But at some point in time, do they have to leech onto another band or another brewery to get that claim of fame that they also got?
Absolutely. Chris, can you, since you have Google right there in front of you, who bought
I will. I'll do that real quick.
Clown Shoes? Click, type, click, type. So yeah, no, I just think it's an interesting question. I just don't, Stone, some of these places that are so big, it's like, I guess I know they're still craft beer, but
Well, it all depends on if you're talking
Harpoon.
about if he talks about the harpoon. Are you talking about the beer itself, or are we actually talking about like the corporation, right? So if we talk about a business as being a business, that's one thing. But if we're talking about how they make the beer, those are two different worlds, right? So I mean, is Four Peaks still making craft beer, even though they're bought by Budweiser?
Exactly. So I know some people that work for Four Peaks. What do they have now? Insurance.
Right.
They have stability. That's not a bad thing. But at the same time, the owners, they're thinking about their employees, but the consumer is craft beer. Do they at that point care anymore? Not really. But you're taking care of your employees. That's a huge difference. So that's where I can see why they do that.
If you look at it from those angles, you can look at it from a few different angles that make it. You can look at it from a couple different angles that make owners look like perfectly normal people. Because you know what? We've said on the show many different times, if you wave a check at us high enough, I'll do just about anything for it. I'll sell the show.
You do stuff for $20. So
we'll stop doing this immediately for a certain high enough check.
of course,
It's no problem.
Same thing. I mean, in our day-to-day jobs, same thing.
If Bud Light was like, here's $500,000, can you just say that you like Bud Light? we would be just drinking Bud Light right now. I fucking promise you.
But instead, we're drinking Ren House.
The show would be
Grand
over.
Crew.
We didn't talk about that yet.
Yeah.
But the show would be over because no one would want to listen to it. But at least we paid out. We got cashed out, right?
Except for the Bud Light guy, AMA.
Yeah.
What's
Sorry,
his name?
Dave Taylor.
Dave Taylor. Dave
Yeah.
Taylor.
But
Shout out.
one thing he said.
One listener.
This one guy asked, I know there's many varieties of Bud Light: lime, golden wheat, the Aritas, strawberry.
Headache in a can.
Yeah, but are there any? Were there any that were tested but didn't end up hitting the retail? And he said hundreds, and that just makes me sick to my stomach just thinking about the many different ones.
So is
that
the
they
rest
ma-
of this episode just going to be like, what combinations did Bud Light do? Was it
what didn't fucking work enough? They're like the horchata Rita wasn't good.
Yeah.
The Cool Ranch Dorito Bud Light.
Yeah.
Cool Ranch Alada. That one didn't test well with audiences.
Some audiences I would actually probably enjoy though.
Ooh, I'd probably drink one of those.
See?
There,
We
this,
got 1 of 5.
this guy.
Hey, this tastes like my dog's feet smell.
Yes, I know.
Ooh, corn chips.
If you don't know that, Doritos smell like dog's feet.
Yeah, well,
Is it Fritos?
I had some
Fritos.
ranch buffalo
No,
ones
Doritos.
today, and they were amazing. But fuck, what do we?
Oh, I'll still eat them. I don't
What are
give
we
a
not
shit what
allowed
they
to
taste
eat in
like.
car road trips?
Corn nuts.
Corn nuts. Don't fucking open a bag of corn nuts on a road trip in a small car. You're just a piece of shit.
Just in
if you do
Nate's
that.
car.
No.
At my car, you feel
No,
free.
the answer to that is nothing. I'll eat what the fuck I want on a road trip. Thank
Well,
you.
you did last time,
and I think
just-
I proved that.
and I ate a bunch of them. So
I was gonna say you lost all credibility when you bitched about someone
you
someone.
bought the Santa Fe ones, and those are delicious.
No, it's ranch.
I opened.
All right,
no,
whatever.
it was barbecue. I opened. I opened a
You're
bag.
all wrong.
I opened a bag of barbecue corn nuts in Nate's car. We're on our way to just California, San Diego to drink beer and nothing more.
This is-
and
It's
Nate
a 4-hour drive.
This is
Come on.
too
Nate-
long a story regarding corn nuts.
Nate freaks out at me for opening corn nuts
Pungent. They
and
smell
then asks for an entire handful.
several times.
Oh, you guys got to embrace the change. This is just turning into a food podcast.
Well, I got one more beer related thing to say. This guy did ask one more.
Corn
no,
nuts.
This
Corn
guy-
nuts are road food. Period.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
corn nuts and Bud Light.
Or sitting by yourself in a room food. I don't know, whatever. Hey,
well ventilated area food.
is there a fan around? So this one guy asked the real question, what makes it so tough to brew? Dave came back with, hey, that's a great question. Bud Light is difficult to brew because it's a light lager. It's designed to be crisp, clean, and refreshing. We brew this difficult style using 4 essential ingredients: barley, rice, water, and hops. This style of beer leaves nowhere to hide imperfections.
Yeah, because you water it down.
Dude, Dave could listen. Brewing Bud Light to be clean and crisp requires a lot of extra attention. We have a unique process like double filtering the water and beechwood aging. Even our fermenters have a
Goddamn beechwood aging.
let me finish. I'm
Sorry.
also reading well for the record.
True. Sorry, fuck that up.
Even our fermenters have a unique design to remove the brown hoof, a bitter combination of proteins that float on the fermenter foam. Bud Light is also filtered to ensure it's crystal clear. Happy to get into more detail.
Hold on, isn't fermented rice called sake?
That's
Dave
all
didn't
I
answer that
know.
question. I don't know.
All I
Water
know.
down sake?
Those are a lot of words to say. I have to wait around while the peons load
takes a
millions
while.
of pounds of wheat, and I push the single button
Yeah.
to make all of that magic happen.
I think Chris was ready to rant on this, but what
Well,
the hell is beechwood?
So they say beechwood aging, right? But per reading other things and hearing from other people, when they went on the tour, they told them they put the beechwood in the tanks. Then apparently there's these long. They actually fermenters are actually like laid on their side and they're really long. And they put the beechwood at the bottom to actually help the yeast when it dies, when it falls to the bottom, to be separated from the other yeast that's active in the tank, right? So they can actually get more activity out of the yeast than anything else. So the beechwood aging is just a fancy marketing term that they use. It doesn't do anything to the beer, really. It just helps them actually make the beer.
But according to their brewers, they don't even put yeast in their beer.
Of course, it's only 4 essential ingredients.
Essential. There's plenty of non-essential ingredients, like love.
Yeah, but
No,
Bud
that's
Light's
an essential
what?
one.
Yeah,
4%. how much yeast do you need?
I don't. Well, my thought is like you said, like they probably make like this giant fucking tanks all over the place, and they just blend them all together with water and make the most freaking like.
They said their largest boil is 1,000 barrels.
Jeez. Hey, you got to give them credit. High schoolers have to start drinking beer somewhere. Right?
Dude. Well,
Making millions.
Zima's back,
This is what we say is
Zima's terrible.
give me a Jolly
but it's
Rancher.
back.
You know, they brew that much beer and they brew it very consistently.
That's hard.
Right. And that is hard. I mean, you can't really deny that they get that.
It's apparently very hard.
It's very
Yeah.
hard according to this guy.
Keeps
so
them up
yeah,
at
that's
night.
it. There wasn't any other good.
You know, and
questions
there's a
other than
lot of things that they've brought to the table with their R&D and then a lot of the science stuff that they do to help the quality of other breweries that we never get to if they didn't have the money to be able to do those things. So as much as I don't like saying it, that's kind of, they did a good job, but they still make shitty
You
beer.
got a point. They did a good job. It's tough to do. Make sure everyone that opens that can gets the same exact flavor as someone in
Right.
Maine to California, but still drink
From
local.
the seas
Fuck
of
that.
Nova
Right.
Scotia.
No,
Fuck
yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
All the way.
Props to them, but yeah, there's no fucking way. Like it's very difficult to make the same bland, non-fucking tasting beer over and over again. Kudos to you, but
Seriously. I'll give them that.
whatever. I'd rather have taste.
That felt a little backhanded, but
It
it
was
was
meant to be.
still.
That's the best compliment.
Yeah, I guess it's really hard to brew shitty beer consistently, but you do it well, Dave. Thank you. That's it.
When you say-
and if any of you guys want to read that for any of the listeners that are still listening, you can catch that on Reddit under.
Anybody's listening
You
to
can
this-
fucking Google it under Dave Taylor AMA. That's it.
anybody's listening to this episode, they're still real good fans.
Well,
Oh,
There's
this
that
will
one
be the
girl.
test.
There's that one girl who we run into occasionally. She's probably still listening.
Brittany,
Yep, I was going to say Brittany. I thought it was Brittany, but I didn't want to not get it right. I'm real bad with names.
and then you say something bad about
Names
her
aren't really my
cats,
thing.
and then
She has cats? You're always saying people have cats, dude.
Hey, I have two cats.
You always say people have cats.
I got
You don't even know.
Elliot and Duncan. Yeah.
Elliot and Duncan, what up?
Shadotless cats,
As in like Sean Elliott and Tim Duncan?
Nah, they cool as shit.
dude.
They chilling right now.
Duncan.
So many genres we just passed through all the show.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Congratulations.
I mean, beer is not just beer. It's
life.
beer.
It's an exploration. Yeah, ooh, that was deep, wasn't it? But seriously, you just have to go it takes you everywhere. And beer has taken us so many
where's
places.
I don't get to go to many places outside of Arizona. Where's everyone's favorite place they've been that they're like, oh, I can't wait
Outside
to go back
Arizona?
there again. Even in Arizona, where's like the next place you're like, I can't wait to go back again.
Well, I love Cellar Maker, but it's so hard to get to San Francisco. I've been twice, but it's still like
That's
the
in like
best
downtown,
place.
right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's still like one of the best places I've ever been, dude. But yeah.
So I've never been to San Francisco, so I've been to San Diego, McKellar, and that's like,
Yes,
I'll go there in a
awesome.
heartbeat.
There,
dude.
yeah, hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. I feel the same way about those guys. We went over there
Yeah.
last time we were in San Diego.
Yeah.
Really cool people. The brewer-
The guys from AZBeer talked to us over
Yeah.
there, Greg. So
Oh, yeah,
there,
Greg
and
took us there.
we sat
Thanks,
there,
Greg.
and, hung out and had some beers, and then he knew some people there, so we were getting introduced to them. That was really cool. If I can talk to the brewer at McKellar, San Diego.
Yeah, it's cool. I guess
Like-
I think that's the original Alesmith. And then Alesmith moved down the street, and they got this huge warehouse with like a Tony Gwynn museum and barrel aged room. And you got to know the secret
That's
code.
very specific.
Yeah.
It's a very
I
specific.
mean, Tony
museum.
Gwynn, great.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then that McKellar location, but they're like every weekend bumping something out. So I love that place. I wish I could go
Hell
back
yeah.
there every weekend.
I wish I could go back to Portland, Maine a lot. They do crazy beer up there now. It makes me sad that I don't live there anymore.
I'd say Portland in general,
Bissell
man.
Brothers is up there. They've got Austin Street Brewing. Allagash. Maine
But
Beer
I-
Company.
Damn.
I haven't
yeah.
been. I haven't
It's
been.
all there in Portland. Started in Portland, man. I mean, a few of them have moved out now, but they're doing.
I've been to
crazy
that
stuff.
Portland. I've been to the other Portland, and that fucking
Portland,
place is
Oregon does a good job
fucking
too.
amazing. It's insane.
Great Notion.
Yeah.
Love to go there.
Yeah, I haven't been there. I always
would
see
love to
they
go
got
there.
some hazy.
Yeah,
beers
dude, they do
going
some
on.
legit beer.
Yeah, shout out to anybody that's not in Arizona that wants to send beer to Hoppy Craftsmen.
Yeah, Tim knows what he's
shout
doing.
out to them. You make great beer. It's not
know
in
what?
Arizona.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people discredit or don't give Arizona credit for their beer, but it's becoming big trade bait.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting a lot of stuff from California, from the East Coast that people are trading. Like I've seen East Coasters posting like July 11th from Wilderness.
No,
and
that's a good point.
and
We see a lot of people in Arizona beer enthusiasts. People join anytime that Superstition Meadery puts out a new bottle,
Yeah.
people will join just to ask if someone can send them out.
We were in line in Anaheim for
Noble.
24K, and there was a dude literally right behind us that had a Superstition Meadery. Like, was it a hat or a shirt? I can't remember what he was wearing, but he was like, "That's fucking for like that's insane that we're in fucking a line for a fucking can release."
Superstition Meadery is huge.
And
Now.
people are
I
like,
mean, they're like almost world.
They have the number one cider in the
Yeah,
world.
I mean-
so
Well, you guys know the Human Abstract on Instagram.
we know Jeff very
wait,
well.
we know Beer Jesus.
Beer Jesus.
I just met him in a
Beer
parking
Jesus.
lot like 3 days ago.
He is here at every
was interesting, Tim.
Wilderness can release. One day I saw him at Wilderness. I saw him at Wren House. I saw him at the Wandering Tortoise.
His parents live in Gilbert, dude, and I've never seen a guy so dedicated to driving back and forth from San Diego, from where he's at in California to here. He'll do it twice in a week sometimes. He'll do it. He'll do
who's
it.
this guy?
He's a Human Abstract on Instagram. He's
Probably
Jeff.
follow him.
Probably do.
Well, if not, Jeff, follow AZBeer Enthusiast.
I'm sure he's on
be
there.
friends. Dang, all right.
The guy's nuts, man. Oh yeah, he's one of the kindest people I've ever met since we started doing this beer stuff.
Yeah, he's super cool dude.
Cool.
Definitely a good dude.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like the last 2 Wilderness releases, I've gotten there fairly early.
I know he's number one, right?
No.
Or no, he's right
No,
behind you. At
No,
least.
the Hangry Mustache.
He's there.
He gets there at like
Who's
6:30.
that?
The
Oh,
Hangry
I don't
Mustache.
know.
The hangry mustache.
Yeah, you gotta follow
Great.
the
He's
Hangry
there
Mustache.
early. Shout
Yeah.
out to that guy. I'm like, and I see that, and I'm like, dude, I'm just waking up, getting my coffee, going to the gym, and he's already there. Props.
So
I never
when
showed
I
before
went,
now.
I don't remember what release it was. I was first in line at Wilderness.
Right.
Little
You're
did
always
I-
who I hit up. You're always on Instagram, right? I'm like, what's the line looking like, man?
Yeah. Little did I know that the Hangry Mustache was actually sitting at the bar inside, just waiting for the
Oh
doors
yeah, that's
to
right.
open.
You introduced us to that guy
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
times
that
now.
was,
Thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, that guy's
My
always all
memory.
over the place, but it's like people are getting it out there. It's like
Yeah.
like Nate, we were at Wilderness with the pecan pie and the
Yep.
Lego My Ego, and there's
Had a
a
little
guy walking
breakfast.
out with 2 cases of
I know.
each, and we both said to each other like, "That guy's trading all that stuff."
Yeah, you're like, what are you doing with that,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah, no shit.
Can't be drinking all that. It's changed already in a week in the can. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
need to drink
absolutely.
that shit. You need to drink it ASAP.
It was good. I finished my 4-pack. It's gone.
I have 2 left
It's way too good.
after my breakfast this morning.
No shit.
But the other part of that is like people are so quick to leave the Phoenix area and go straight to California, but you're missing out on things like a lot of places in Tucson that aren't Borderlands and aren't Pueblo Vita, like 1912, and I mean even Dragoon gets kind of like
Yeah.
missed, and like Prison
We're a little-
Hill and Yuma.
I'm a little jaded on Tucson at this point. I've driven there like 3 times in the last month.
Oh, you live.
I
with
don't
I'm a
wanna
diehard
life.
devil. Okay, I will
wanna-
not go to Tucson unless I have
Arizona
to.
State
I don't wanna
people
go anymore.
hate Tucson.
I don't want to go anymore. I just don't like the drive to Tucson. I like being there, but I don't like getting there. I don't like coming back from there. I sure as shit didn't like the drive to Tombstone.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, that's
That was-
nothing but
That was
just
fucked.
dust and weeds and
The
Tombstone.
people at Tombstone, amazing. Love those guys. Weedy. We had fun time with John from Rowley House Ales, Farmhouse Ales. But yeah, the journey.
It was tough.
But even heading west, it's like Prison Hill and Yuma.
That's
and
true.
you
There's no
got-
fun. You're not enjoying yourself on the ride to San Diego. That either whatever way you go, whether you go the Anaheim way or you go to San Diego down the 8, you're not like, man, this is fucking awesome looking. I'm really interested in this
Arizona
drive.
is beautiful.
But even
Love it or leave it. That's how I am, dude. I love the state.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Okay, don't talk about my
even
state.
going north, like
Born and
everybody wants
raised.
to
Oh, you
go.
didn't-
Everybody wants to go to Mother Road and Dark Sky, and you miss, like, you bypass, like, yeah. Chris is wearing Dark Sky. He finally changed his shirt.
Thank you. I got 2 shirts. This is the other one. You fucking see the other one.
Richter and Dark Sky.
Yeah, everybody goes up there, but you miss
Well,
like
west.
you miss like that brewery in Cottonwood, and they're in Pine also, and people. I mean, stay in your state.
Ooh,
There's a
it's
lot
true.
of good.
Hey,
there's
drink
a lot
local.
of good
Damn,
beer.
my
Dude,
fucking
I
state.
think Camp Verde has actually a brewery too.
Yeah, the Camp Verde. There's
Just up in Prescott or Prescott, depending on how fucking cool you are. but
Verde
whatever.
Valley. There's another valley I can't remember. And but
There's many
yeah, it's
valleys.
like there's so many places to miss when people are going to north to Colorado or
But what
west
if we've
to
been to all those
California.
places? Then can we go to California?
Yeah, you start.
It's hard to go to all the breweries. I have a list on the fridge highlighted All the Arizona. It's
Local?
hard. All
Yeah.
Arizona. It's hard to get through all of them.
I've still never been to Dabina.
Yeah.
There's one place I can't go to because he just makes Scotch ales, and I'll hate them.
Lochiel?
I'll hate them all.
La Quille.
Lockio, yeah.
Yeah.
Their beers are quality.
I have
their
no
fruit
doubt.
beer
I have
is
no
solid.
doubt. I have no doubt. It's just taste.
I hear you.
You know, there's actually a La Quille.
I just
in Arizona.
handed you my hit. I just handed you my who hit John Grand crew. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, come
some people
on,
just
man.
don't
Man
dig
up.
certain shit.
And that's Nate. He doesn't dig that fucking shit.
Yeah, and I don't have to. I'm not afraid to hide it.
Yeah, but it's hard when you're in the valley and like Wren House releases what they do, and it's like I really don't need to go anywhere.
I have a hard time. Oh yeah, no, there's no. Yeah, people who understand craft beer in the valley understand that there's wonderful options right
Sure,
here.
yeah. I have an Instagram account
get it, there's
dedicated
plenty.
just to local beers because why do I have to get someone else's if 15 minutes from my house someone brewed something last week in a can? I'll give them money.
If you can't walk into a GCM, King's Convenient,
Liquor
Bottle
Express.
Shop 48.
Bottle Shop 48,
Liquor Express.
per Tim's shirt.
Shout out to everyone on this episode, okay?
Yeah, why'd you say Bottle Shop 48 first, Tim?
Wearing the shirt.
This is going to be
Shout out
the
to
longest
Jordan.
Instagram post ever. It's just going to be
But-
a list of ads.
There's a
Maybe I'll
lot of
tag.
there is a lot of great bottle shops, and if you can't walk into one of them, find something you want to drink, you're probably the problem.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
comes
I
back
know
to
that I'm the
supporting
problem.
Local. At the end of the
yeah.
day, if we're talking about AB and Bev and Dave Taylor or Joe Taylor or
Davey,
whoever
Oh,
he is,
Davey.
I mean,
Billy Bob
if
Joe.
you're going to give someone $18 for a 30-pack, give it to someone who's local and get a quality.
or you can give them
four-pack.
$18 for a 4-pack.
Here's-
Your choice.
But here's the deal: it's like for the last 6-7 months, I actually haven't gone to a lot of liquor stores because I haven't had to. I've gone to all these fucking can releases that everybody's
All you
doing.
need.
And I've always had fucking beer, and at this point, I'm like this guy. I have way too much fucking beer in my fridge. I can't drink it half the time. I want people to come over and drink my beer because I just can't go through it fast enough. So, oh darn! I guess it's a horrible problem to have. We have such good beer in Arizona.
Sucks here in Arizona.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I've
Can
given away
releases.
so much beer this month just because it's like, I want people to try it. I need to make room.
These Pliny's, just cases laying around.
Laying around.
Need to work through it.
Stacks and
But
stacks.
kind of rewinding about like 5 minutes, we were talking, and I'm sure our listeners get tired of hearing me say this, but you sit here, and anyone who is actively on Instagram or even Facebook in beer, you see these trades and you see these whales, and you see everything coming out from Treehouse and Tired Hands and just Bottle Logic and Monkish, and people are losing their minds over these beers. And I am in no way, shape, or form discounting the beers that these people are making. They are making some amazing beer. But at the same time, I have never had one of these whales. I've had a few of them. People send them our way. We try them. Nate brought some back from Maine. They're really good beer, but I have not gotten a single beer from the East Coast, from the West Coast, from outside Arizona where I was like, holy shit, I wish Arizona would step up and make beer this
True.
good.
I agree with that.
You can sit here and you can spend all this money on eBay paying for these beers and doing trades and, spending an extra amount of time with your spare time trying to make these whales happen. But I can also just stop at Wilderness on my way home from work and buy a can, a growler, or whatever, and have amazing beer. The shop is like 5 minutes from where we work, and I can get amazing beer. Arizona is doing some really amazing shit,
Sure.
and there's nothing that I've had that makes me think that we are not in the upper echelon of people making beer right
True.
now.
I totally agree with that. I mean, everywhere you go, breweries popping up every couple months.
Is there any kind of brewery that we're missing in the valley? I have my opinion on one. I guess like a farmhouse, like just because we just hung out with Rowley, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like we don't have
from New
we don't
Mexico?
have a brewery that's just doing funky.
Well, I mean, Wren House and Arizona Wilderness, they
do.
Wilderness has their
And they-
own dedicated sour room. Wren House, you
That's
talk
true.
to them, they love
true.
doing farmhouse. Luke loves doing that.
You're
But
right.
what does everyone line up for? A hazy IPA.
They do.
Do they line up for a farmhouse? No. So,
But you have like
they
Hill
to-
Farmstead. You have these places that just do the farm thing, and I think we're just like I'd like
True.
to see one of those.
Well, we talked back to it earlier. Bring it back to basics.
Yeah.
If we
That's
can
what I'd
see
like
that,
to see 12 West do, because they're in that farm
They're in a
location.
farm, yeah,
Like even
absolutely.
if they just did one beer that was just a farmhouse.
No, I want.
like-
That's what I want. I want to see. I want to see just all farmhouse ales. Every one of them is just.
But I think the thing that Arizona
what
is
I'm talking
lacking is marketing, because Monkish is good beer. Like there's no debate about it. They make good beer, but how many people are showing up just to get those one-off glasses? Like people went nuts when they did like that rainbow Tiku glass that they were just handing out randomly in line. And it's like there was a big Instagram thing when Wilderness did their Tiku glasses.
Yeah, I'll
with
take
the
a nice
hops
full
and-
glass of that, Chris. Sorry, Ed, go ahead.
But
Since I gave up my other one.
you know, I was in Wilderness today and there's still a ton of those Tiku glasses left.
Yeah, that's
But
because. Well,
They charged a little too much for those Tiku glasses.
that's what I was gonna say, but I didn't have to say it. Thanks,
I
Ed.
said it. I took the bullet for you on that
Thank
one.
you.
But you know what I mean?
about
There's
right.
like, and like pure, their logo, Pure Brewing markets purely on that logo. Like they repost everything about that logo. And like, that's the number one selling point they have is people buying that logo.
I
Their
think,
beer is good, but
no, you're totally right. I think Pueblo Vita is the closest that comes to doing that. Their can designs,
Oh yeah,
they get the hype. They have the hype, like you're talking about. Like
They took a note. They took note of
Yeah,
the kind of can
very-
styles they're doing, and now everybody in the valley is taking note. And Ren's probably taking it. Maybe they might have taken it a little bit because their style is badass.
yeah,
I love all their labels. I
But-
haven't seen them do something I didn't think looked stunning.
yeah. But what Ed was saying about that Monkish, and just people are going there because it's a lot of hype behind it, but it's sustained hype, and I think that's something what Pueblo Vita does.
Oh,
I have
yeah,
a
for
Pueblo
sure, I
Vita
agree.
dealer down to every time he comes up.
got a PV dealer, dude?
He comes up. He brings me.
You're
Something.
like, bro, I can't enter city limits Tucson. Can you bring me my
Yeah.
PV
literally.
on?
He's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, on.
But yeah, and there's a lot of hype behind it just because of the design. And I think if you
No, for
market
sure.
well, people build it and they will come.
So speaking
That's
of
right, Wayne.
Pure and actually their bottle design and what they do, we just popped a bottle of Pure
Oh yeah,
right
that's
now.
the bottle pure right here, the new fashioned.
did I fucking segue or what?
Wow.
It's a sour that was aged on bourbon barrels, and that's a sour I can do, Tim. That's a bourbon barrel aged rather I can do. Let me see that bottle right there.
But even like Borderlands Brewing in Tucson, they have like quality cans, and you can look just by color alone. It's like that Gravathar's Hammer's purple.
You get that right for your Untappd.
The
Do it. Let's go ahead, Tim.
German
Unofficial.
chocolate cake is
that
red, and the
Yeah.
Citrana is orangish yellow, and the my favorite, the sitting in the tin can, had that like off purple design, and it's like those stand out. And
Yeah, that was like a gray on that one, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was like a
But Grabthar's hammer, I mean, it just a full loop back to our and Tim. You don't forget what you're about to say. Go ahead.
I never noticed that, Ed. That's phenomenal about their beers. That's wild. I never noticed about the color change.
yeah, it's like the fucking Voltron. It's like
Right.
a purple, red, green. They all form
That's
into
smart,
one.
though. I like that kind of marketing, advertising, making sure that there's a difference.
I loved the purple on the Grabthars, and that was still probably one of the best beers I had all year. Still,
Second that.
100%.
Super
Second
good.
that was probably one of the best hazy IPAs in Arizona
It
coming
was
out this year.
juice. It was orange juice.
It lasted too. If you let it sit for 2 weeks, it was still good. 3 weeks, it was still good.
Land-
I have
But
one.
they killed it, and we kind of talked about this with Tombstone. Is we see these releases coming to the valley, and I mean Tombstone and Borderlands can do no wrong right now. And I was telling Weedy, it's like if anything from Tombstone drops, if anything from Borderlands, fucking mine. And then the Grabthar's Hammer thing, you have a Borderlands beer that they put exclusivity on that you can only get from one place, and people especially lost their minds. So same with Tombstone, and I mean
At least that lasted a few days.
Correct me
Yeah,
if I'm wrong.
I
But
went out of my way to get that.
yeah, I don't think Tombstone did anything exclusive like that yet.
No, none
but
of that.
but I mean, look at all the stuff that
Well,
those
Dark
guys
Sky's
are dropping.
Dark Sky's doing it with GCM. They're doing a
Yeah.
barrel aged like blonde or something. I just saw them post today.
Yep. As far as can releases go.
Oh, can releases.
Yeah.
But, but still, that's
Absolutely.
exclusive. Just at GCM, you'll find it.
Yeah, and I think GCM does one was Wilderness as well, if I remember
And
correctly.
they just did one that was the Beer Geeks dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
Or something. It was and
Yeah.
I think that was. Maybe the hell
I think
was that?
Weedy at Tombstone
it's
was
like
saying
it's like Beer Nerd.
they'll let anybody. They were saying in the most recent distribution they'll let those guys drive up there and pick up as many cases as they want. And it's just when we were telling him that when they get back down here they're gone, and he thinks that's silly.
Yeah, he thinks it's hilarious. And then
But he's a young guy.
Ground Control, I think, started that
They did.
the Hops My Pilot or something.
Yeah, they were telling Weedy was saying that basically they called them and said, well, if we come down there, will you limit the cases we can buy? And they didn't at that point. They just whatever you want to come pick up, you can come grab.
It was either him or
if you drive 3 hours to grab it, you can come grab it.
So awesome.
Well, I remember being at Real Wild and Woody, and people were talking in line that Ground Control just got another shipment of sitting in a tin can.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, it sucks that I'm at
yeah.
I'm at Real Wild and Woody, but
That was a hard 4-pack to grab. I had to go out of my way and try and find that, and
Yes.
I was lucky enough to grab one 4-pack. But
yes, we did.
it was a pain in the ass to get.
then you got weird gems like one
Hops and
stop.
my co-pilot was Dark Sky, wasn't it?
Tombstone.
It was Tombstone. It was Tombstone and
Fuck, we just did a show with them, and we talked about that too. Whoops.
Oh,
ouch.
that was Nate, by
My
the way.
memories. Yeah, trust me, they know.
We got
If someone forgot, it was me.
That's awesome. So, what do you guys think about this so far with the new faction from friggin' Pure Project?
This is way more sour than I expected it to be.
had
I
2 days
don't
ago.
mean that as a dig. I freaking love it. We didn't talk about it 2 days ago, did we?
Yeah, we had it. We had
Kinda,
it.
sorta.
We had it in
drank with-
Tombstone.
Well,
yeah.
now hindsight. And again, I know Chris hates saying balanced, and I don't want to say that it's balanced. It's balanced to the point to where I get the bourbon. This is supposed to be. It's called New Fashioned. It's based on a bourbon Old Fashioned. So I get that citrus note. I get that bourbony note, and then it just kicks you straight up in the face with that fucking sourness. It's so good.
Sour saves it for me and
Funky.
brings it all together.
Yeah, totally funky. I mean, when I first was trying to get into sours, I had something like this Flanders and was not digging it. But this is that style that you're looking for right now in Flanders. It's high ABV. I think it's like 12%,
Yep,
but it's tart.
it is, and it's very sour. It's super good. I love it.
Some kind of cherry, black cherry. I don't know.
It's almost to the pucker, mouth watering pucker sourness to it, like that freaking fresh Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, it has like a candy sour to it, where it's like that watermelon sour, where it's not.
Oh yeah,
It's not that bittering pickle sour.
That's
It's
great.
that sweet, like tart. But with that bourbon, it just kind of smooths it out.
The
really.
spice that comes off it when you smell it is just fucking phenomenal. I love that. That's like probably one of my favorite parts of this whole beer is that just the spiciness when you smell it. It's good. Very
To me,
good.
it's kind of like sticking your head in a used bourbon barrel. I mean, it's got kind of just like that spicy, musty, bourbony scent. It's really good. Really good.
That's some good stuff.
That's all we're here to do is just drink beer and bullshit, right?
Exactly.
yeah, for the most part.
Right on.
So there's an article that happened a while ago on Paste that was from, I shouldn't know how you say this, Scofflaw?
Scofflaw?
Scofflaw. There's Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Scofflaw?
They, one of the
Scofflaw?
guys started out here and he moved from Arizona out
Okay.
out them.
The article basically talks about how they post a picture on their social media basically flipping everybody off, telling them to go fuck themselves.
Nice. I like their style automatically.
Right.
I like them already.
I was gonna
like
say
them already.
So far, I want to go there.
Because they're less than a year old. They basically, people are bitching about how the consistency in their beers aren't great and this and that. And it's it's one of those things where I know you guys are a lot of social media stuff and we kind of do social media stuff too. So I'm like, that seems pretty crazy to me to be a brewery and basically tell everybody fucking is complaining on social media to go fuck themselves. Like literally flip them off.
That's just the
Perfect, man.
balls.
It's the perfect response when you're a craft brewery and you don't give a shit. If you're popular in your area, what do you give a fuck what people think
It's
on
true.
Instagram
Well,
anyway?
and really, the people had an issue with consistency. They're saying that they've got like 6 packs, and the consistency of their beer, like between them, or 4 packs or whatever it was, that from beer to beer was completely different. And people were complaining about that, and so they had like
I get that. I mean, that's an honest complaint. Just, I mean, when you
Yeah.
get a hamburger somewhere, you want to better make sure it's the same thing every time you get it. But the analogy, okay, you're laughing.
Well, yeah, there's-
but no, I get that. I mean, but they actually,
wasn't a bad
I
analogy.
like how they handled it. It's kind of just like, hey, this is who we are. If you don't appreciate it, I mean, we're sticking to our guns on that.
I've had this hamburger 100 times. I want it to taste just like every other time.
See, it does work.
Yeah, no, I agreed with that. I just
But there's also that consistency factor. Like if Wilderness has ever had a flaw, is that period of time when they had that turnover where you went in every week, and there was a full tap list that was basically different.
Yeah.
People were looking for like Refuge, and it wasn't there, and it just there wasn't that consistency. You have to have a staple that you have on tap every time that people come to go to.
That
but then
flagship.
and you have to have that core group, but then you can try and chase whatever you want as far as flavor and try different things. But I think it's a fine line. Like people just want to bitch about whatever. It's like they don't have this. When I went to Mesquite River Brewing, they had Orange Blossom on tap. They got a bad review on Yelp based on the Orange Blossom.
Which is even their beer.
Yeah, it wasn't even their beer. So it's like...
But play devil's advocate, did they write the bad review because they had that beer on tap or because they didn't like the beer?
They didn't like the Orange Blossom, and they bashed Mesquite River for that beer.
Yes, I hate that kind of
Well,
shit.
I think, in my opinion, I was talking about
That'll teach you for putting on guest taps.
True. I was talking about
Why don't you
fiance.
put
the
on
other
Orange
day.
Blossom?
I mean, it's not a bad beer, bro.
I
It's
know,
a pool
I'm
beer.
sorry.
It's
My
a ladies
bad.
beer. That's
My
a ladies
bad.
beer. Ladies love that.
I talk shit. I shouldn't.
There's a reason Orange Blossom is like a Phoenix staple.
It's true.
I guess.
That's why Huss took them over. 'Cause They
I
know what they're
suppose.
doing.
Were you going to add
But
on to that,
I was
Tim?
going to say, like, when you criticism, I was talking to my fiance the other day. It's like criticism is when you give it without thought. They're showing some insecurity there, and by them coming back, I think, and I mean they weren't too open, but just how they responded to that. You're saying what you really feel, and if you take it the wrong way, if you're not positive about it, still at the end of it,
Yeah.
you can't take criticism.
Yeah.
I have to interrupt here.
Yeah, I
so-
know. You guys are giggling.
I know,
and
you're
Chris,
giggling
So
over
Chris
here.
and
I'm
I
trying
are
to see
over
what
here
he's doing.
giggling because I just poured him like the
Bottom
probably
Yeah, the extra
bottom
shit.
third, and it looked like chocolate milk. So there's a lot of sediment
Yummy.
going on in this
cider
beer.
in that bitch.
Aged well.
Yeah, it looks like cider. He's having some apple cinnamon,
That's good
pumpkin
stuff,
pie
dude.
stuff going on.
Eat
here.
good stuff.
Eat some fruit and become a fermenter.
Right. No shit. So I'll say this: the response they gave back was fucking ginormous. I'm not gonna read all of it, but the very thing that says this is a small batch brewery. The amount of time a beer spends in tanks, sometimes due to limited human resources, variances in ingredients, and other shit like this, affect the beer. We do not have hop contracts. We are so small. We get the shittiest pick of hops. Greatest come from the same field, and so on and so forth. Basically, kind of like, from their point of view, it's like, hey, we're
Excuses.
the reason.
I was gonna say that just sounds like
That
a
sounds
load
like
of horse
excuses.
right.
horse shit.
So
Like, I couldn't get my work done in time, boss. Here we go.
Sorry.
no. So the
You're always fucking shit, Nate.
I wanted to see the goddamn time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay, I'll
Chris.
cut that out. So my thought was that, and people were like, "It's very thin skin from them to be if I can come back and kind of say that shit." At the same time, is that one of the reasons why people like small craft breweries? Is because of these kind of things, right? It's because it's not always going to be the same
True.
experience, and you're going to get something that's different every time you go there.
Yeah, I mean,
can
if
you have
I,
your cake?
if
and-
you, there's plenty of instances where if you talk shit about a brewery I liked, I'd be like, well, I think that's just you.
It's true.
Honestly,
I
I'd
mean,
be like,
how do you take criticism again? How do you? Is it? Everyone has a different opinion on a beer.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I heard your criticism on a brewery that I was like I loved and they made all the beers I liked, I'd be like, yeah, that's your problem.
People give.
I'm good with that
When you
inconsistency.
do a can release every week, Wilderness did with their Dirty Hop Water. Well, number 3 was better than number 7.
I love that. I'm
Well,
always like, get fucked.
come on, dude. You're taking the same beer and switching up some hops and doing some other things. Like, what are you expecting out of the end of the day? Enjoy your beer.
Yeah.
Why'd you buy it then,
Why'd you buy a case of them?
sucker?
But that's the thing, though. You can't stand on the mountaintop and then be like, "Woe is me." You can't say, "This is what we do. This is our beer," but it's because we don't get the best ingredients. Just say, "Fuck you." This
I
is
was
what
gonna
we
say-
brew.
Dave Taylor.
Yeah.
This is what we brew. Here's how we
Stupid
brew
son of a
it.
bitch.
Maybe we're still working on our flagships. We're experimenting.
I would have posted the photo with the middle finger, and then I wouldn't have included all this bullshit about fucking the fields of hops. I don't care.
and like I said, it is
Stick with the finger.
very long post.
Well, I mean, when people go to the Starbucks and you don't get their menu or order right, I don't give a fuck about your answer.
I hate that.
Just get it right. Same thing with them. Hey, come on, just own up to it. But at the same time, props to them. Independent. They don't go.
Oh, I thought you were giving props to Starbucks.
No, Starbucks. No,
they don't
no.
need your help, dude.
But that's the thing too. It's
Yeah, I
like
agree.
Sidekick.
how many people are actually going to read through the whole rebuttal? They're not. They're going to read the headline and see your first few sentences.
Yep.
And if you don't defend yourself
Spot on.
appropriately,
As far
they're
as-
just going to be like, oh, this person's just whining
Yep.
and they're making excuses.
Yeah.
Like very few people are going to read through that whole article and be like, oh, they make a good point to my counterpoints. And
I would have read the first line that this is a small batch brewery, and I would have pretty much understood where he was going to take it from there on out.
Yep.
It's like, okay, you're just going to make a bunch of excuses about different stuff, and that's fine. You gave everybody the finger. That
But by the way, their beer is pretty damn good. I've had a couple of their stuff, and
who is this? What brewery is this?
are we still talking about Bud Light?
That's not.
I don't know who we're talking about
For
anymore.
the record, it's not fucking important that I knew who the brewery was to have this conversation.
No, it's very true though.
Scofflaw. That's right. Thanks for
if
going
you're
back
not
to the
owning
photo,
up to
Chris.
It's like I know Nate. That's just visual aids help.
Hey, I'm just here to talk. I'm here to provide my opinion, and it doesn't matter if I know who the brewery is.
And these
Sure.
opinions are not shared by anybody else on this podcast.
Yeah,
Well,
there's fine wording at
and-
the end of
and
this.
There's a lot of, and they talk about other things too, and a lot of things. It's one of the things where everybody, people, really what happens is that, we all kind of depend on social media too. So it's just kind of weird to see, like, you see somebody have a bad experience at, like, Wilderness, and they are on that shit, right? I mean, somebody had, I got the wrong order, and then the fucking waitress didn't say sorry or some shit, and people were like, oh, talk to the manager and blah, blah, blah. And for this fucking, brewery to come back and be like, fuck it, we don't
Read
give a
this.
shit.
Yeah, how much do you care about your community at that point?
Right.
Well, this is a good one.
So,
Trip Woodlaw.
no. Trip
Wootland.
Wooten.
Trip. Whatever. Your name's Trip. We'll just leave it
Trip
at that.
Wooten. Wooten? Who knows?
Everybody's got to go to the bathroom. Maybe we should need to take a quick break.
You want to take a break and come back and
We'll
read
take a
this?
quick break.
That
All
means
right.
Nate has to go potty.
I'm good. Only you guys and my mom have to pee every 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Got that.
Your Phoenix Hoppy Craftsmen.
All right, guys, we're back from another break, and we're probably going to use that. So we got another beer.
Let me tell you what. People think that our breaks are like maybe 2-3 minutes, maybe long, because that's what they hear is like
That was
30
like 30
seconds.
minutes.
That's a 30-minute break.
We
a good one.
We literally just had a 5-man Dutch rudder for like 30 fucking minutes.
And the Dutch Rudder made its final return again.
Fuck yeah.
We had a good conversation, the kind you couldn't record.
Yeah, that's,
It was true. It's 100% true.
Said lots of things about plenty of people. Maybe they're listening. We don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe they're not even real people.
It's like Rick Grimes, things and stuff.
got things and stuff. Coral. Just listen to me, Coral.
Oh, God.
No,
Okay,
we
we're
had a-
pouring a
we
beer
had a
right
nice.
now.
Actually, what we really did was sit there and talk about all the beer I did.
It is Sunday night, so Walking Dead will be airing
No one
probably
cares,
about
bro.
right
Never
That's-
seen Walking Dead.
that's-
Never seen
I was gonna
any
say,
episode of anything.
If you want to pause for another 30 minutes, I'd like to talk shit about The Walking Dead.
Oh, it's a terrible show. My
I've
wife
never
watches
seen it,
and
so let's talk
fucking
shit for
can't stand it.
days.
Tim,
There's so many.
I
things to
watched the
say.
first 4 seasons, and I'm done with that.
Tim,
sack
we
of
got
shit.
fucking pathetic
No, get the
bottom
rest
pours
there.
of this thing, man.
Go ahead,
No,
Tim.
go for it. Go for it.
Ed got top pour.
Mine's
He's cool.
Mine's wider. I got
Ed's
the
got
girth,
plenty.
man.
Don't give it to him.
I'll
No.
share. You're a baby
Are
bird.
we measuring out here?
I'm just giving you a hard time, Ed.
I'll feed you, baby bird.
Oh, there is beer. All right.
That smells delightful.
For those of you who
Nice.
wondered what's happened to
Well,
this
wanna smell that
podcast,
can, though.
everybody's hopped up on fucking sugar because they keep eating whoopies between beers. So
They're hard not to eat. They're delicious. That box is going to be gone before everybody leaves.
Yeah.
What are we drinking, Nate?
Damn, son. I just noticed the ABV is why I said that.
No.
We're drinking Mind Clouder double IPA. Yeah, it's a 9% ABV from Mumford Brewing.
This is mislabeled. I really, just on the nose, I haven't even tasted this yet. From the nose, I think this should be called like tropical bukkake.
yeah, it's very tropical smelling. You spent time in Japan, so you know what it is, right?
Unfortunate.
This
Don't ask me how I know that.
So what? Everybody.
Hey, congratulations! Nate just finished his Pliny from 2 hours ago.
Fucking awake now too. Jesus Christ, scared the shit out of me.
Holy
Ed.
shit. So yes, this beer. Try it. What do you think?
Hang on a second. Let me get a good whiff.
God damn it, Tim.
Ed, you should go
Tim's
first.
just huffing his over there.
Oh, because I have the biggest pork.
Yes.
Fucking.
All right, Ed. Let me see your glass again. You're right. I actually think I did over. I think I did over.
Yeah, you got like half a
Exaggerate
glass.
This beer is
Exaggerate that
this
one a
beer
little
is
bit.
delightful. It's
Yeah,
like
it's-
it's like super tropical and dank.
yeah, dank is. That's what I was thinking. It's dank. It's
Definitely dank.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I know about dank.
What you know about dank?
As a double though, it doesn't taste like 10.
Next time, I expect
it's definitely
with
a
your
double.
sweet
Oh, you taste it?
Patreon
I
money.
mean, excuse me, I would say it's definitely a double. My bad.
We
It
have-
tastes like a double. Did I just completely? Did you
Tastes
say
like a
it's
stout.
Did you say it's not a double? And then I was like,
No,
oh,
it doesn't taste like a double. It's
No.
pretty
just
smooth.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Just per the ABV, I mean, it just
Yeah.
tastes.
You hide that behind the tropical notes, you're good.
Yeah.
All that dankness comes out there and hides that alcohol.
Take
So-
all that sweet Patreon money
Sweet,
and
sweet.
invest in a fucking standard tasting glass, and this will solve the problem.
Ed's still the little miffed that I got
Ed's-
a problem with that taster.
Ed's angry.
Yeah, I thought we moved down, Ed. I'm
Hey, I
sorry.
gave you a pie thief, all right? So I
Sure.
can take a
Have
big
we drank
pour.
it yet?
No, we haven't
Technically, you
drank
gave
Yeah, I
it
was
to
gonna
Chris.
say, speaking of
Which pie thief? This year or
This year,
second?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
It's at home.
it's phenomenal.
we're looking forward to trying it. at some
Let it
point.
sit a little bit. I mean,
We
most type of
currently
beers. Well, I mean, like let it sit
No, I
and
agree.
warm up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Ooh,
sorry.
it's
dude.
good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good
while
call.
somebody was at Pueblo Vita in Tucson, they were texting me about pie thief at Wren House. So I'll pour however much beer
that
I
a
want.
you
Thank you
problem?
very much.
Come here, give me a glass. No, it's
No, not on my computer.
No,
Over the-
put it right here.
Over the mixer.
Okay, yeah.
Do it on the
Right
mixer.
there.
Instead.
Okay.
It's good luck.
Okay.
That's what we always say.
How are we gonna finish this up, Chris?
Drink more beer. Actually, you know what? I actually want to ask Tim. Tim, your guys' sticker / logo for your beer enthusiast is a cactus with gold teeth and a
Yeah.
beer. What the fuck's that all about, dude?
And,
Fuck yeah,
And
what
can
is
we
it
get
about?
more?
Yeah. Don't call me lazy
And
because
I need a
am.
big fucking one, dude. Like I need a really big one to put right on my window.
He's got a size.
I
issue.
thot he said when you said
I put that.
window,
I
So
put that. I
decal.
put nothing on my car, but I put that on the back of
decal.
my
Okay,
car.
so what?
So a decal.
I am not
So a
taking
poster.
any credit for this. My fiance and I were talking.
Good call.
Most of my ideas come
is
from my
smart.
fiance.
This is smart.
She literally though. No, she said I'm a local, born and raised, love it or leave it kind of Arizona guy.
Yep.
Cactus. It's pricky. Don't be a prick. Drink local.
Right.
She said we got to get a cactus holding a beer. Send over to my dude Andy. Andy came back with this cactus with a gold tooth, thugging it out, 480 style, with a nice pint glass, and it turned into a phrase: "Don't be a prick. Drink local. Put a cactus on it."
Boom.
Like put a bird on
Yeah.
it from Portland.
We
Yeah,
can put a bird on that.
Hey,
Put a
Tim.
cactus on it.
Hey Tim, you might have to
We can
explain
pickle
that
that.
480 to the Hoppy Craftsmen because
480. I'm born and raised 480
Damn.
area code.
Nice.
Back before even 602. No. What was first? 480 or 602?
Oh yeah, you want to have a moment of like Arizona specificity?
Yeah,
it-
602 used to be all of Arizona.
Yeah, all of Arizona
Yeah.
was 602.
That's
Like 520 was like northern Arizona and Tucson, and then the population boomed, and they had to split the area code. So
up.
you got the 480, the
Split it
602.
So this is how you guys felt when I did the Michigan thing.
Yeah,
huh?
when you're pointing at your hand that nobody could see, at least.
Matt could.
I'm from the Pinky. Are you from the Pinky? Where are you from?
No, that's Petoskey and Traverse
He's from
City.
the
That
little.
doesn't
He's
make
from
any
that
sense
little
to me.
butthole that you make with your thumb there. As you.
Kinky.
That's the wrong way. But yeah,
Something like that.
that's Oklahoma. Fuck
Oh,
you.
okay. Yeah.
It's the OK state. All right.
Yeah.
So other than that, what do you guys got going on?
I
Anything?
don't have anything going on.
God, you are the worst.
Yep. What do we have going on for the rest of the year? I don't think we have much. We're trying to. We got a few irons in the old fire, but so far coming up empty.
We've got some pretty amazing things
Yeah, I guess I didn't mean coming up empty, but
about to happen.
we're warming them up. We're getting to the proper temperature.
What
for
breweries haven't you guys gotten to that you need to get to?
a lot. Every one of them, as far
Every
as we're
one of them.
concerned. Yeah.
Are you listening?
Exactly.
Every
As
one
far
of
as
you?
this show is concerned, every one of them ask me off air. But
We have to do Scottsdale, McFate,
Okay. Steve?
Old
Steve
Ellsworth.
McFate, yeah,
Yeah.
Old Ellsworth. I want to go to Oro
We
next year.
actually haven't
Probably.
been to Helton at all either. So
We do need to
Yeah,
get
Helton.
Helton finally
Come
on the books.
Yeah, let's get all these
Well,
guys.
we'll get Tap. That's been talking to them, so we don't want to oversaturate. We don't want to oversaturate.
Oh, now we're just throwing fireballs, right?
No, I just absolutely not. He
got it
We
first.
don't want to oversaturate our
idea.
our awesome listeners.
Well,
but
well, with that, I mean, kind of throwing a secret out there is Chris's wife is friends with some other people at Helton of the female persuasion, and they were trying to get a all female,
podcast takeover.
microphone takeover, podcast takeover, and do it. But If
that doesn't
It
happen
would
within
run
a
a
timely
lot
manner, it's gonna
smoother
get
than
replaced.
this.
if the
It would
women,
run a lot smoother
if
than
the
this.
women in our
It'd be more
lives don't
intelligent.
step up and do it, we're gonna have to do something. And you know,
Yeah.
It'd be more intelligent.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the women in the Phoenix community have a lot to say, and they are underappreciated when it comes to their beer quality of taste and everything that they come out. I have flavors that I can't taste in a lot of beers that
They
I
can.
know they can.
So,
So,
there'll be a lot more swear words. I'll say that.
Probably,
yeah.
absolutely.
Sailors.
yeah, yeah, that'd be a good
Jesus.
episode.
You guys do need to talk to Steve though at McFate because I really want to know what's going
We will.
on with the Tap and Barrel.
Yep.
They shut down the Tap and Barrel
I think
Instagram.
I think he just did a podcast too, so he's got to simmer for a bit.
Everybody who was there like 4+ years is gone.
And Steve's
Yeah.
got a great story, man. So
Absolutely.
Let's plug that.
I think he just told it, so he has to wait a while.
No, I'm sure Steve has a great story. I'm interested to know what's going on
Oh,
with Tap and
Ed
Barrel.
wants us to grill Steve McFate about what's going on at Fate North. That's what that's
Yeah.
really what's going on right here.
dropping the hammer.
I don't think we're gonna be able to do it, but we could try.
We'll try. We can do.
From what I understand, I think he was pretty quick in his responses to the last questions about that kind of stuff.
Quick, short, however you want to describe those responses.
I'm
I
gonna get Steve
noticed
McFate
that.
now.
We want to get down to Crooked Tooth at some point. Talk to those guys down
Oh
there.
yeah, they're like. Unfortunately for them, we've driven to Tucson
Nate
for
doesn't
3
wanna go to
times last
Tucson.
month.
So much, yeah.
So we'll see you in a couple of years.
It's an hour and 45
Gotta get the
minutes too
flag
far.
set.
Next year sometime, maybe.
Flag would be now. That's a drive I'd like to take. That's
Yeah,
one
go talk
direction
to the
I'd
dark
like to
sky
go.
guy.
I'd love to do
I-
dark
Only
sky.
because we've done. I love Tucson, the old Pueblo. You know, went to Tombstone, but
That's what
just
it's
been
called.
there too much.
Yeah.
So I'd like to
go
go in the
north.
other direction.
hey, go up there, some snow. Go to
Yeah,
Flagstaff.
Let's go. Let's get cold. Let's cool
Yeah,
off a little bit.
We've been
bundle up.
we've been doing a little dance with 8-bit, talking with Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Oh yeah,
forth.
that's a dance.
Talk about California. Poor
Well,
8-bit. If you're going to go that far, you might as well go to California.
Right.
Go to 8-bit.
Well, speaking of this point too, but actually at Dark Sky, they just got a new co-head brewer with Kristen from Historic.
Yep.
Really?
So she left Historic Brewing and actually is now at Dark Sky.
Cool. Cheers to that.
So
That's a question. Where's all the Eastern Arizona breweries?
St. John, anybody there doing?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of breweries in St. John.
Nate's the first one.
What's the bar in Bloody Road Bar? No, it's in like Holbrook, Arizona. It's like Bloody Bar Road or
I
something.
don't know.
You don't know.
You're gonna die there.
Just
though.
keep going
Yeah.
and go to New Mexico. They got better beer there.
serious.
Yeah, you might as well.
Right, it
There's
works.
there's a long stretch between here and New Mexico that's just boring.
Yep. And you have to pass Tucson and Tombstone on the way.
You're going the wrong way.
you're going
to
the
New
wrong way.
Mexico.
I guess that's a good point.
That's a long way, dude.
That's old Mexico you're
I
headed to if you go through
I
Tucson.
didn't say it was the most efficient way to get there.
This is something you'll learn about Nate. He's not super efficient sometimes.
Did we finish all the? Speaking of fishing, did we finish all the rapid round questions?
We did.
No,
Okay.
I don't
Bring
think
them
we did.
on.
Well, there was the other ones, but
Yeah, they're brewer related.
they're
Like, what's
brewer
your what's your hardest brew, Ed? What's the beer you like to brew least?
The beer I like to brew least is anything that requires a massive amount of effort because I don't have a good brewing system.
Okay.
So it's like,
Hey, I got a real answer. I didn't expect a real answer.
I
appreciate
can't.
it.
I can't sparge. I need to brew in a bag. So fuck it. I'm not doing all grain brews. Fuck that. It's too much effort.
Fucking A. There's people who brew in a bag that make great beer all the time. There's forums dedicated to brewing in a bag.
we'll never know about
They
Ed's beer because he
love
never
it.
brings it to us. So
Dave
Damn, that was
Taylor.
rude.
I thought about bringing
Dave,
it,
you
but
brewing in
I
a gigantic
should've
bag.
promised too much beer.
Sounds like we need a brew day in the very near future.
I'm in the next month. The 20-gallon system in my house will be done, and we'll do something fun. And we can do something fun here. We've got a grain father that Jeff has. We've got a bunch of options.
Ed has a bunch of tropical fruits, some citrus. or something.
Oh, yeah, I got like 4 citrus cheese in my yard.
There we
so
go.
if
Let's.
we
There we
wanna,
go. Boom.
There we go.
Next beer.
I'll have some sweet grapefruit in the next couple months.
Nice.
and the other question we didn't ask was metals for brewing. Is that good or bad, or do you give a shit, or do you make a difference by?
That's interesting from a consumer side of it. Do you even care if a brewer has metals?
No,
It's a good answer.
I don't think the true breweries get recognized.
Well, that's I don't
Some
think
just
that.
don't give a shit. They'd rather just sit there and make
True.
beer.
Well, if you think about it, GABF, everybody locally put their stuff into it.
True.
But
They want to try.
yeah, and I give them props. You should. I mean, but
Who did we get winners here from? We got
Saddle Mountain,
Saddle Mountain,
Gold
Saddle Mountain,
Water.
Gold Water.
Did SBC get something?
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Scottsdale Brewing Company got one as well.
Yeah.
So
And was the other one?
props to any Arizona one that enters
Yes,
and
that
gets.
mountain.
But for people drinking beer, do you really think they ought to chase those?
I don't think, and I'll steal when we talked to BRI, like Matt was like, you're brewing to style.
Right. True.
And
Absolutely.
How many of the common consumer,
Pretty limiting.
how many people are actually judging beer on the style? If you go have an IPA, what are you judging it on?
Right.
It's all relative. You're judging it on the last IPA you had. New England,
Yeah.
According to Chris, Northeast
Nebraska.
Nebraska
IPA.
IPAs. That's not even really a style. So it's like, what are you judging it on? You're not going to get a medal for a New England IPA. And, Arizona doesn't really like advertise that. You see medals hanging from like deer antlers and like hanging off of like kegs and things like that. And it's like if you go to New Mexico, like Boxing Bear, the first thing you see is all their like best of New Mexico plaques and all their medals right above all their merchandise. Arizona hasn't really embraced the medals, and I think it's good for them. It's like, other than GABF, what's really recognized as far as medals? I mean, there's cool things. I think if we got more into like the regional trophies.
What's the double IPA festival they have? The Bistro over in California. That's a big one.
Yeah, I can't remember that
No,
one.
just throw a couple in there. But
Yeah, but I mean, for the consumer,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
for like brewers recognize the medals, but like I think the cool local trophies, like a little keg that has like a plaque on it, or like a little brew stand, or some sort of things like that like people are putting together. Like, hey, we're gonna invite like who was it? Oso and Goldwater did that like frickin'
right.
Right.
competition,
Cool.
and there was nothing.
Who won that?
I don't know. I didn't
I didn't
go.
even see.
See, that's the thing is,
Well, I'm
Shit.
saying, who won?
We
that?
can't
I
have
can't tell. There's
we-
no medal to tell me
We
who
can't
won.
have
But even
results
there,
on the show.
that becomes like a popularity contest. But I mean, to the medal point, didn't last year Pedal House brought home a gold medal for one of their beers.
Have you ever been to
And,
Pedal House?
and I've been to Pedal House,
Have
but
you?
again, but that was kind of my
neither
point.
have
I'm not disparaging Pedal House in the slightest. They have good food, they have good beer, but they won a gold medal at last year's GABF. And do you see Pedal House blowing up everybody's freaking feed? No, I mean,
No, but it's also-
I'm sure they're doing fine, and they just did a big remodel, and I mean their location is probably ideal. You have a bunch of college kids. They're right off of Mill Avenue, so they're probably doing
But that's
well.
a
but
that's a
they're
new brewery anyway,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
yeah, but they're not doing well because they meddled.
No, absolutely. Especially what I was going to say. That's my point. If they just remodeled, shit, that brewery's only 3 or 4 years old anyway.
Not
Well,
even.
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
not even.
But either way, I mean, I would agree with that completely. It's clearly no indication of the beer you're making or how popular you are locally, but that may not be what their care is. Especially they're right on Mill, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. You're right.
And again,
they don't give a shit.
I can't say it enough. I'm not disparaging. I'm not saying medals don't mean anything, but they don't mean everything.
right.
True.
To the basic consumer, they don't mean anything because you don't know where they're coming from.
Oh,
It's like, other than like, honestly, GABF, can you name another like consumer friendly medal competition?
Nope.
It's really hard.
Right.
And look at probably in Arizona, Tombstone and Wren House are probably the two biggest breweries. Look at Wren House at Real Wild and Woody. That was the longest line at that brewery all night.
Yeah.
And-
Can't forget Wilderness.
Wilderness.
Well, yeah,
Best brewery in the
Wilderness, I mean,
world per 2015.
Is that just because we're like within a half mile of Wilderness?
Nah,
and think that
if you're talking about nationally recognized
no, yeah,
breweries,
absolutely.
you've got to
No,
throw
I'm
them in
saying
that
like
combo.
locally, it's like
Yeah.
Well, we have to say
Big. Oh, I'm sorry. Just biggest locally, in your opinion, would be Ren and all that.
Well, I mean, that's not like focusing on style.
Right,
Wren
okay.
House just does whatever the
Agreed.
fuck they want.
No,
Like,
agreed.
And Tombstone is just, hey, we do IPAs really well. This is what we're going to do. Here's 5 different IPAs. We're going to release them all at once.
Weedy would probably disagree with
which
you.
is funny.
Yeah,
is-
Weedy. I mean, that guy's a traditional from what I've heard.
He would loves to do. He was
Yeah.
say, "We were telling he
If you-
they just canned the pills, and he was super amped about
if
it."
you talk to a brewer, I mean, talking to Luke at Wren House again, he wants to brew more farmhouse that style.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's even doing that right now. That's
Good,
a challenge.
I hope
to
you
them.
heard what I said. I always like Luke. We realize we're best friends.
No, I'm not
They
saying
wouldn't
they're
know it.
focusing solely on IPAs, but they're like,
No, I agree.
Here's
No, I
5
don't
IPAs.
disagree with
Here-
anything you're saying.
But-
they're all at once. Whoever in the valley can get their hands on them. Here
They
you
know
go.
for a fact they make
Yeah.
great IPAs and
they
people go
sell
nuts
out.
about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. They're not.
Time.
They said they do 125 cases per can. They do, and they only keep 10 of them.
Wow.
At Tombstone.
Everything goes out the door.
And they hold on to them for 3 weeks. Usually, they said 2 to 3 weeks on 10 cases they kept.
Well, that Tombstone.
They didn't have shit when we
How
were
many
there.
people live
dude.
in Tombstone?
They had bottles there.
5.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 5 people do.
But I'd be mad. I'd be like,
1,300.
keep those fucking
How many
cans
of
here.
those go there?
Exactly.
Not a lot.
But it's like all those.
They didn't have any other IPAs on that night. They blew that night, and that's awesome and everything. But if I lived in that town, I'd be like, fuck. Send it all to the valley.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
and all
I'm
those
in the
I-
valley and I'm like, thank you. But if I was in Tombstone, I'd be like, this is bullshit. I live 2 minutes from one of the best breweries in the state.
all those
and they
IPAs
ship
were
that shit.
great, and then the sour that they released kind of got no.
dude,
And it was good.
What was it? Oh, the hoppy sour.
And it's like-
So
I
we,
like that.
we went there tonight. So they blew. What was the beer that we asked for? They didn't have. It was
They blew the mediocrity, another
Mediocrity.
exercise of mediocrity.
that
Blew that
great
the second we
session?
walked
so,
in.
So
Yeah,
then
great.
you
and then
got
they
the little,
blew. We all got a little baby Wyatt.
No, you guys got a little
Baby
wine.
got a
Wyatt's
baby
session,
Wyatt.
right?
Yeah, that's the session. You're right.
Okay.
I
And
got
it
the
is
hoppy
so good.
sour. I like the hoppy sour
I
a
loved it
lot.
too.
It was
great.
good. It was super good, and
Hell yeah.
a lot of places in the valley had it a couple weeks after, and it just didn't get.
And they blew that little baby Wyatt up about 5 minutes after we got our glasses.
And that sucks. 'Cause that was my number 2. I was going to that next, and that fucking blew too. So, but yeah, he said it.
Did you say Bluetooth?
Bluetooth. They Bluetooth that too.
Bluetooth that fucking beer.
But I'll say they were no disillusioned that they fucking IPAs were fucking their. That's what they were making.
They know that's
they
their bread and
understand
butter.
that. But if he had his way, even more than he already currently does, because he's got a lot of freedom.
Yeah, that
he
guy
would
is-
be brewing fucking just some lagers and some
That kid's
clean beers, too.
27 years old and pretty much can do whatever the fuck he wants
Yeah.
at that brewery.
Hey, Chris,
And
we're
you
pouring
can't
the
do
banquet.
anything other than
Call it
be
Nick
jealous of that.
Dude, he moved from like Alabama.
He did.
Props
He did. He
to
came up
that.
from Blue Pants and he went there. And no, good for him. I'm good. I'm actually.
He
I
doesn't
gotta
even live in
drive.
Tombstone. He lives in like Bisbee's, and I heard he travels every day.
Yep.
That's dedication.
So we just opened another beer up. This is the Dankworth
Wakatu.
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 Well, since Black Panther's coming out, I'm going to say.
How
it's
did John
Wakatu.
pronounce
There you go.
Washuka?
Nice.
Is that what he said? Watueka? Washuka? Watuka? Washuka? That's what he pronounced it as.
Is
so
he
I don't
having
know.
a seizure? What's going on here?
Fuck you, Ed. I'm joking. Was John having a seizure? Or was I having a
Or are
seizure?
you having a seizure?
We all
We were
just had
pronouncing hop varieties.
What?
Okay.
Bite the
All right.
stick. So yeah, this is the latest can release from Ren House, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody, yes. I'm looking at everyone on the table. Yep. All right.
I think so.
Damn it, Nate.
I don't
Well,
know.
it was
You
before
don't
Pie
know.
Thief, right?
No, it was
No,
after
it was
Pie
after,
Thief. It was a
sure.
weird random
It was,
like
it was
Wednesday.
a weekday release.
Yes, it was.
I love the weekday releases.
No, it's
Keep
smart.
doing weekday rent.
No, it's smart. If you do that,
I love how angry people get on Instagram. Thanks. I work on Tuesday at 12, you motherfuckers.
what do you mean Monday
Good.
release?
Good.
CL.
Oh yeah.
Go on lunch or miss it.
Serious.
Bitch.
People were going ape
Oh, you
shit.
love your job more?
People were going ape shit about the candy bar milk stout.
Oh, Monday? What?
Yeah.
Monday? You releasing a beer
Really?
on a Monday?
You had a problem with that?
I was like,
Yes.
thanks. I took that day off 2 months in advance. Thank
McFate
you for
always
randomly
releases-
picking that day.
They always release that beer on a Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always been on
Yeah.
a Monday.
I remember
that
last
candy
year I
bar
had to
milk
get-
stout comes out.
I had to get growler fills because it was on a Monday. And
I fucking hate when people complain about a schedule. It's like, get with it or miss it. Because you know what? I miss 100 of them, and I don't sit there and complain to the brewery.
okay.
Well,
did
you complain to me
were
all
you-
the time.
Were you there for Grand Cru?
No.
No. We
I
drank
missed
it.
Pie Thief.
I wasn't there for this Dankworth release
Yep.
You drank it. Well, drinking it.
because
I missed
people-
Pie Thief, and we obviously couldn't get that little collab Ren did with that brewery in California. Ed took care of us on the Pie Thief, and actually Drew hooked us up with that one of those cans of that. What was that, like that Mexican chocolate stout they did?
I heard.
Can't
about
wait
that.
to try that.
Well, that's like the
I'm gonna
Lego
rub my
my,
boobies.
Yeah, we didn't bring it for a reason.
the Lego My
Sharing
Ego.
it with you guys.
It's like
I hate you.
that's gone, but it
Yeah.
like and now they're doing the pecan pie. They're planning on canning that all throughout the fall. So it's
Really?
yeah,
That's tight.
I
That's
went-
good
love
to
that
know.
beer.
That's good to know.
I went there today and their cooler was full of
Really,
pecan
they just
pie.
keep, they
Yeah.
plan to just keep going. Good,
Yeah,
because
they're
that's the way it
just-
should be. It's a holiday beer and it's Thanksgiving time.
Perfect.
I want to be able to buy. Hell yeah, I want to be able to buy a 4-pack of that on Thanksgiving or the day
Yes,
before.
my girl makes a pecan pie, and I can't wait to drink a 4-pack with just that.
So let me ask you guys. So this beer, this is the second rendition of Dankworth. Everybody had the first one.
First is
Galaxy.
First has
Yep.
got a little special place in my heart
I was gonna say, so-
forever.
I'm a Galaxy whore.
Comparatively,
Thank you,
so
Tim. I knew we were good. I knew we were going to be
Galaxy
best
whore.
friends.
Nate pinched his nipple when he said that.
Yeah, I
saw
was gonna
it.
say I'm Galaxy. That's why. I mean, that's why you like. That's why the Grab Flowers was so
Yeah.
damn good.
dude.
Galaxy is
So
God.
we're all in agreement here. The 5 out of 5 that everybody liked that one
Yes.
better than this one. This is good, but not as good as that one.
Totally different.
Yeah, they're just different
Totally
beers.
different.
Very different.
Because
Again,
Luke
but-
listens to this show, so let's
Listen,
go ahead.
I'm not
it's the
saying it's
same
bad.
thing
Fucking
when
with you,
you
I know, I'm
do
just
the Dirty Hop Waters at Wilderness.
I'll be the
the
dissension. I
same
like this
beer.
one better than the Galaxy.
All right, here.
That's awesome.
But
that's
the
the point of
Galaxy
beer.
is a
I mean,
perfect hophead beer. Like that one was.
I was trading.
Ed trying to be cool. Hey, I'm different over here.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Ed, for the conversation.
I had a buddy who drank one of them off the 4-pack and was like, "Oh, I'm not really into it." I was like, "Give it to me
Yeah, I'll drink it.
right now.
Yeah.
Go home and get it because that is not going to waste another day in your fridge."
Like I said, again, nothing wrong with this beer. And when we picked it up, we actually,
this is a great beer. Let's
was,
not get even-
Luke was sitting in the tap room. And we fucking talked to him
Yeah.
for like 20 minutes, and he was like, "Hey, this isn't the first one. Wasn't even supposed to be as fucking hazy and fucking crazy as that one was."
No way, man. That's a
He
great
goes,
beer.
But, you know,
Pilsner mix or
We're not
something?
even trying to. We're not even trying to say that one's better than the other. It's just different than the original Dankworth, and it's
Right.
like still a great beer. But yeah, if we're talking about
So-
preference, yes, I would. That Dankworth Galaxy was super duper good, and I want all of them.
So
yes,
in
that's true.
a weird odd world, would you wish they would have called this something different then?
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure they just took the grain bill from Death. I'm sure they took the grain bill from Dank, and they took the hop bill and changed it to this New Zealand hop variety.
Well,
no, I'm
Dankworth
good
is
with
a
that.
staple, right? They have a Dankworth on tap.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
their-
a staple for
not a
them.
staple
It's definitely not a. It's definitely not one of their flagships.
Well,
like
no,
you-
it's
like I would
something they've
say.
done multiple times.
Yes, totally.
But
No.
like the
Have they
Galaxy
done
and
the
then this
Dankworth?
one were.
I think this only I
Have
thought
they-
those were the two.
maybe
but-
they did the
Yeah, 'cause
Dankworth
when-
and the Crowler. That's right. They did the
when they were-
Dankworth when they were still crowlering, and then they did the can.
Yeah, they had like
Okay.
a baseline
So twice
Dankworth
now.
when they released the
Well, third.
Galaxy.
You're
Third.
right. You're
and
right.
then this is that. But
Crowler, the two cans.
They did the Crowler, then the can. Did they can Dankworth twice now?
Dankworth
Yeah,
Galaxy.
was the first.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry. No, I'm not even referring to this. Did they They didn't can Dankworth Galaxy twice. Just the
no,
one.
it was just the
Right.
Crowler
Yeah, yeah.
on that one.
That's right.
Both
the
great
Crowler and
beers.
the can.
No,
I
that was
think,
a can.
I think
It is. Yeah.
I think both of them live up to the Dankworth name. I mean, there is a pronounced amount of dankness in
Yeah.
both beers.
Yeah.
Given if you held a gun to my head and said pick one, I would go with the Galaxy. But they are both very amazing beers in my opinion.
They're great beers showcasing a couple of different hop varieties.
It's like, yeah, different malts, so this is a lot
Yeah.
lighter.
It'd be interesting to see if this one came out before the Galaxy to see how that dynamic.
I
would
bet it's a
change.
different beer, and they should have just named it something different at that point.
Oh,
You know
but
what I mean?
no, if this one came out,
Exactly
and then
what I mean.
The Galaxy came out like 3 months later.
Luke
like this one
messaged
did.
our Hoppy Crafts Instagram because they saw that I had a pound of the Moshuka or Motuka.
You got a
however.
pound of
I
that?
had a pound of it. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, I got a pound of that at the house. And he's like, whatever you do, use 33% more than you'd plan for, a standard different kind of hop. And I just,
That's great.
yeah. Oh, dude,
No,
I love
Luke-
that.
Luke's
Luke's
Take
the
That
shit.
advice and run.
Oh yeah. I was like, hey dad, heads up. We listen to this dude.
Yeah,
like
He knows his shit.
like Luke Wartendike knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's how you say his last name?
Yep.
I haven't even tried.
didn't know.
I haven't tried his last name. I didn't know it.
well, now we know.
Dub?
is-
Yeah. Luke.
Fuck
Yeah, I
is
just
wrong
call him
with
Cool
you
Hand,
guys?
Cool Hand Dub.
Whatever.
Dub, dude. Just call him his Instagram name.
Love it.
You guys are like, wait, what the fuck's his name?
Cool Hand Dub.
Wait, what?
Who's that guy?
So, yeah.
Jesus. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap this.
Let's
fucking
wrap
thing
this one up.
We're all night.
We've name dropped enough.
What's AZ Beer Enthusiast got going on in the future?
I want to actually get together with some organizations and give time back to the community, dedicating like helping homeless shelters, donating toys for the Christmas time. So hopefully getting together with some brewery here soon. Actually, been talking and
Nice.
trying to do more
Using
than
your
just beer.
page to help do some.
Yeah,
do some
I
good.
mean, beer is
Hell
great.
yeah,
I
man.
love beer. I'll drink beer and get
Obviously,
wild.
though, but obviously the valley is important to you.
Yeah, and so I want to get with the.
Honestly.
I got to do something.
That's clear. Just in speaking to you, that you're passionate about it.
Exactly, and more photos on Instagram. I love
Always.
taking photos in
Instagram's the
public.
shit, dude.
Beers in public. That's fun. That's fun. Make sure no cops are around. Come on, bring it on.
I've seen some good. You made some. You do that one photo of the what was the peaches and cream?
Yeah,
do
so
that?
I live right by a bridge that goes
Yes,
over the US 60.
I saw that on Instagram. I saw that
I
on
go
Reddit.
there often. It's right across. I walk there in 5 minutes. I love going there and taking a photo and hoping no kids get out of school. There's 2 schools on the other side. Is a cop gonna walk?
You're like,
by?
there's some sort of footage problem here. I'm sure of it.
People in trucks, like semi trucks, be honking at me, and I'm like, sweet, just don't call the cops. It's great. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I love more photos and just hopefully, honestly, giving back to the community in some way.
That's awesome.
Man, any bottle shares you doing coming up for the holidays or anything?
Hopefully, beginning in December, like a month from now, we're gonna get something once the Christmas trees are in the house.
So, if people want to actually check out that information, how do they do that?
Facebook group, Arizona Beer Enthusiasts. Join. I'll add you right away. Post what you're
Approved.
doing. Approved. Just be real.
Don't be a prick.
And on that, which I love, you guys really uphold that. I've been a member of so many forums. From I used to write for a horror movie webpage. It was a forum. I've been in sci-fi forums. I've been in beer brewing forums. I've been in forums out the wazoo, and I usually don't stick around too long because the forum kicks in and horrible human beings always take over. And I will say that in the entire time I've been in AZBeer Enthusiast probably for about a year now. And in that time, I mean, I'm usually out
positive
long
attitude.
before then. And I have never seen any of the typical captures of all of the other online. People aren't dicks to each other in your group, and I love that. And again, it's
People aren't dicks by a rule in your group, which is nice.
It could be through good moderation, and if it is, then good on you. If it's not, good on everybody. But I just love that you guys have a group where you don't suffer from that typical online keyboard warrior bullshit, and I love that.
Sure. Yeah. And that's what I try to get out of it is there's a lot of rules in other groups. People would talk on them, and it's not my duty in that. Is I'm just trying to create some positive things. Beer is what really unites people, different backgrounds, different beliefs, you name it. I hate U of A, but hey, you love the same beer I do. Let's
but
have
you
a
like
beer
from Tucson.
Yeah, come on. So the same thing, and so it really unites people. And if we take away from that, what's the point of having some beer and having some conversations over it?
Right.
And
Yeah, if you're fighting over beer or being a dick over someone's beer choices, something's
come on,
you're doing it wrong.
Join Twitter and see me trolling some other people who that's what I do. Come on now.
Yes.
But I really just want make sure people feel comfortable posting out beer. If they have an opinion on something, it's your opinion, and just if someone takes it the wrong way, they're not allowing you to hear you out who you are. I mean, Nate's gonna spill beer over here. I'm not gonna call him out and give him shit. I'm not gonna post about that later in the group. But yeah, just if you guys are positive, I want to make sure everyone's
Positive attitude is important.
yeah.
Just in general in life. And
Feel comfortable, man. Facebook's a weird area right now. Post on there in our group about beer and
I mean, if you
have
listen
fun.
to our show, clearly I like to talk shit occasionally. Get a little negative.
Well, you know what?
occasionally.
Here's the deal.
You don't follow me on Twitter? Oh,
Yeah, no shit, right? So here's the deal. It's really easy if
where
I
I
can
do all
like
my shit talking.
point shit out you hate or you dislike or you're not a big fan of or whatever. But
but if you're saying that, you're coming from a good area, I hope.
Right.
Right.
If
You can be respectful about being opinionated.
Right.
yeah,
all
yeah.
day.
Hey, well,
it's okay to be have a different opinion than me, but don't fucking hate me because of it. Or don't fucking argue with me about it.
same thing. We were talking
Agree.
about Dinkworth, the one before it. We all have our opinion on it. Are we gonna not drink one of them too?
Is Ed not invited to come back on the show again? Yes. That's me.
We've only had him 3 times.
But that's for a whole other reason, though.
I mean, and that's what I think this show about, and you guys, your group, and Ed, we're gonna talk about your stuff a little bit more, but I think it's all because of something that we do enjoy, right? I mean, there's so many things we can not agree with and don't like, but we all can agree that we all fucking like craft beer in Arizona.
None of you are being paid to be here, and we spent 2 hours together, and it's only for the enjoyment of being together and hanging out and drinking. And having a nice conversation.
No money?
Tim's like,
Wait, I'm not getting
Not at all.
I had
I'm
a
not getting paid?
conversation with somebody regarding this.
First of all, it was a Dutch rudder or $5.
Jeff, what did we talk about earlier?
You took the
No,
Dutch
but
rudder.
no, you're right. I'm not in this for anything besides everyone else. I do not like to post in my own group. It's pointless. I'm just trying to make sure people feel comfortable posting their own group. I'll be on Instagram posting photos.
Oh yeah.
Please have fun in my group.
Oh, yeah.
And keep it positive.
Yeah,
The guy from Dark Sky literally just posted in the
Is it
group.
Ryan?
Ryan, yeah. So
Ryan's cool, dude.
I love to see what they're trying to do and showing some secrets. That's the stuff I love.
It's just all about enjoying beer and hanging out and having a nice conversation.
But
regarding it.
that's the cool thing. I'm part of the AZBeer enthusiast group. I've met a couple
Exactly.
people. A couple of people. I've gotten 200 million thousand or whatever it's called from Trillium. I got that through
Right.
the AZBeer enthusiast.
Thanks for sharing, Ed.
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna
I got
say,
one
I was
kid
gonna say
for
I didn't fucking have any.
But there's a surprising amount of people that join AZBeer enthusiasts that have been kicked out of other beer groups. They're like, hey, I'm just
yeah.
looking for somewhere to talk about beer, and I'm coming from another group that had all these rules and like all these stipulations, like, oh, you can't badmouth or you can't talk about beer. We have to be able to have discussions about it. You're not going to like the same beer. Chris wears terrible t-shirts. He only has one.
And 3 of them.
I have
and
two.
3 of them over the course of a 7-day period. Should see him at work.
Literally, you guys go to all these breweries and do not ask for free swag. Come on.
Nate,
We try not to.
Oh, man, come on. Hey,
Rick hooked us up.
I
We've been
like
hooked
that
up.
shirt you got on right there. It'd be a shame if I wore that on my back on the way out.
We usually drink for free, and that's more than enough for
I
us.
can't
Right,
ask
exactly.
anymore after that.
And to your credit, you guys are very like skittish about getting free beer. I was there at BRI. And it's
We don't like it.
What do we do?
We don't like it.
Do I tip? Do I
We don't
leave an?
We
extra
always
big
offer the
tip?
card. We always offer the card.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You can't be like, hey, we'll get us one of these. Oh, you want our card? What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Nobody else asked for our card.
Nah, fuck that.
No, we put the card down, and
Yep.
then 9 times out of 10 we get it back free.
No one's here for
And if we don't give a shit because you know
Yeah.
what? We're always here to have a good time, and we're weirdly willing to pay for our
We'll
beer.
be back. Don't worry.
right.
You made
Right.
us pay for our drinks.
Well, we want to support fucking local breweries, right? So you know, if we buy shirts or we actually pay for a growler or whatever, we want to be able to do that. You give us free beer is great, but at the same time, we want to make sure that you're still around, you're still making great beer, and help spread that word. So
Sure.
Nate's card's been paying for everyone at Tombstone the whole weekend.
that's 100%
I was
true.
gonna say I haven't gotten that back.
Yeah, that's a misconception
points.
that isn't really like
a little
talked
punch
about.
card.
These breweries aren't rolling in cash.
No.
They're investing in their brewery. They're investing in their people. They're
Yeah.
trying to find hops and
And
grain.
any
Yeah.
brewery that opened in the valley didn't have any money when they opened the door.
Yeah, and to your point, we don't expect free beer. We appreciate the shit out of it. We try to tip and buy swag. I mean, if they don't charge us for beer, we'll usually walk out with enough
Something.
swag to
Oh yeah.
hopefully
Compensate.
offset. And again, it's hard to be really objective and have people take you seriously when you're reviewing someone's beer. Where it's like, oh well, they're only saying that shit. And I,
Hey,
and again,
thanks for the shirt, thanks for the hat, and I love
would
the beer.
Not that I would do it, but it's real easy to garner the perception of like, well, these guys are only being nice to him because they're freaking loading them up and they're half lit when they give a review. And I mean, nothing can be further from the truth. We love Arizona beer. We're going to praise good Arizona beer. We're going to pan bad Arizona beer.
Sometimes.
no, that's true.
You guys
because
want to do a beer review right now?
I can guarantee there's at least 5 breweries that will probably never be on
Damn,
this
you're not
show.
doing a beer review. You're not here
And
to talk
it's,
shit.
they don't reach out into the beer community in Arizona. Their beer is average to subpar, and they're
There's plenty of places like that. There's
Yeah,
plenty of
and
places that are restaurants and have a brewery.
yeah.
There's plenty of places like that. So, Ed, what do you got going on? What's next for the blog and when?
I don't know.
More whoopie
I
pies.
write.
Well, we're working
a-
on getting you. We're in some sort of contract negotiation to get Ed on the Hoppy Craftsmen website, just because he's a wordsmith and we need him.
Well, I wrote about
WordPress.
the last
Yes.
podcast you heard me on was with BRI, so I wrote about that.
Great blog.
Nice.
I've written about the Hoppy Craftsmen and how they kidnapped me.
Good.
And I've
We-
written about
Untrue.
We had breakfast together last
Yes, we
weekend,
had
me and my wife
breakfast
and you.
last
So there
weekend.
you go.
I've written
Tim was
about,
there in line.
So many lies.
No,
can releases.
so many lies.
he's got that Patty Hearst syndrome.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do that. I take a lot of pictures on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at ARRWOOOO. I know it's
You can change that anytime.
Instagram
You can change that
to
anytime.
find ever.
It's a Beagle
How
thing.
many R's? How many O's?
2 R's, 4 O's.
It's craft blog.
1 A, 1 W.
What's the name of your blog?
O.
My blog is on. You can find it on WordPress. It's at craftbrew.blog. So if you want to check me out there, I write as I feel. I don't
Perfect.
I'm not trying to do beer reviews. I'm not trying to.
His blog about
Nobody put Ed in
his
the corner.
blog about kidnapping is bullshit. Let me just put that on
it's-
record.
And Tim's dropping glasses.
Oh,
Broke
dude, I thought
everything.
that was me.
Pretty sure Tim just did what he dogged Nate for.
Yeah.
Damn. Karma's a
Well, anyway,
Nice.
guys. Okay,
All right.
I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I just like to say I'm one of the rare local voices who was born and raised in Arizona, so I like to
Hell yeah.
promote Arizona beer.
He just
We appreciate that about
he
you.
just
big time.
discredited all of us.
Yeah. He's like, I'm from here, so fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want no Ed.
Build that wall.
Ed does a really good job, in my opinion, of being true to himself, but making sure that the craft beer community is heard from, because a lot of people are very opinionated. And I think he's kind of picky and choosy when he opinionates himself, but I think when he comes out, comes from his heart.
Tim's gonna make me cry.
This is so emotional.
But
No
at the
ass
same
kissing, no ass
same time,
kissing or smoke
he's really
blowing.
real, and I mean, there's a few people here. They really try to make something out of nothing and try to make them something that they're really not.
He means people
He's
here in this
very
room.
true.
He means here in this room.
It's
Nate. He looked right at me when he said it. So.
A lot of people get blogs and they become really self-serving. And I mean,
Yeah, he does.
no blowing smoke, no blowing sunshine, and I mean, take it at face value. But I enjoy reading your blog for what that's worth.
I appreciate that.
It's very real.
And everybody sitting at the table,
Except for the kidnapping part.
we're not doing this for money. We're not doing this for really recognition, although that's nice when you get it. But we like
beer.
the beer.
We like beer.
We like the people, and it's like.
But yeah, anyone who says
And we're
we're in
being
it
too
for
nice to each
anyone
other.
who says it in the free beer, I will be more than happy to present my freaking credit card statement for the whole year.
Yeah, no,
and,
that's-
and show you
Yeah.
that my
I will
my,
not be willing to do that. I will not.
my free beer it pales in comparison to
Yeah.
my paid for beer.
Yeah,
And as it should.
If you see,
We're here to support.
You see all these refrigerators of everybody sitting here of all the cans
Oh, yeah.
that we've bought over the
Oh, yeah.
last even year.
Yeah.
There's no
These
comparison.
breweries should love us because not only do we love their beer, but then we sit here and we talk about it all the time.
probably
And we're
could have had
rarely
a
negative
down
about it.
payment on a house.
I say I
over
should-
the last 3 years.
I should be able to drive my beer habit.
Seriously.
100% true.
All right, I'm tired of being so nice to you guys.
All right, guys. So, Nate, where people find us on social media?
You can find us at Hoppy Craftsmen on the Instagram, and you can find us at Hoppy Craftsmen on Facebook as well.
Excellent.
You like that?
What's the website?
Said perfect. Fuck Ed, don't say that.
Take two. What's the website, Nate?
That is hobbycraftsman.wordpress.com.
Or hoppycraftsmanpodcast.com.
Hobbycrafts-
Whatever's easier for you guys.
Take 69.
It's all
I don't
good.
know our webs.
Nate's a jerk.
We're gonna get hobbycraftsman.beer soon.
100% true.
Awesome.
Gonna have
So-
to cut that out till it's ready.
Go there and look at my
Go there
fucking
soon.
editing stuff I'm doing.
And also, if you're out at can releases, beer releases, tappings,
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
probably see the Hoppy Craftsman, AZBeer enthusiast, or
Yourself,
myself at one of these places.
So Ed doesn't have stickers at the moment. He's working on them, right?
Yeah, I'm working on stickers.
Ed just needs to work on a new Instagram name and stickers.
I need a new Instagram name, new marketing profile, all sorts of.
And then Tim, you have stickers usually on you, right?
Yeah, I need a re-up. People want shirts.
Shirts, huh?
People will get shirts. I want snapbacks.
Thank you. Hats
That'd be
for
great.
sure, dude.
What did I tell you,
Who
Ed?
needs
Snapbacks.
shirts? Just wear hats all
I
day.
don't know, dude. You're gonna get a shirt that doesn't even fit me. Get me a snapback.
Serious? Exactly.
I want a
All right,
snapback.
snapbacks it is. Black?
Snapbacks are for millennials.
Yes.
So fuck you. I want a fitted
Yeah.
hat.
Fitted?
or a
You're
flex
wearing a
fit.
snapback.
Hey, amen, brother.
59.50?
It's the only one they had.
I'm in. Yes.
$59.50, but that's gonna be. I mean, he's gonna have to get a lot of sizes. No fit.
New era. I
Well, you
got
like
this.
you want. Like, I don't want to talk about hats. I can talk
All right,
about
let's-
hats. I can get. I
Me
can,
too.
I can
Me
talk
too.
about
We want to do a
hats.
hat podcast?
Let's take this off the fucking
I can
son of a
talk
bitches.
about hats.
Stay tuned for the next podcast where we talk about hats.
No shit.
I'm
Jeff,
passionate about hats.
before you start, Ed, who are the fucking coolest person in the fucking world?
My wife, the first Patreon supporter, Cena Gomez.
Excellent. Jeff, who are the rest?
the most awesome fucking people on the planet are, I have to say it again, Sina Gomez, and it's less for her donation and more for her whoopie pies. Holy shit. Second, we have San Diego Beer Talk Radio. We have Mark Ballesteros, and we have Javier Gonzalez. Thank you for being our Patreon supporters. Every little bit counts. We appreciate everything you guys donate, and it'll help us become a bigger and better podcast with every donation we get. Thank you.
So if you guys want to be a supporter of the show as well, go to patreon.com/Hoppy Craftsmen. If you cannot do that, and we understand a lot of people can't do that, go to iTunes, give us a rating, leave a review, whatever you can do. Tell a friend, whatever, man. It's fucking, it's how people grow and hear about more of the show, and we actually help spread the love of Arizona craft beer.
Follow them on Twitter.
And then,
Follow them on Twitter, guys.
I'm the only Twitter person up, so
okay,
you're always talking to me, Tim, in case you're wondering.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Nobody else fucking on the Twitter here. So, but other than that, as always, I'm Chris.
I'm Nate.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Eddie.
I am Tim.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here, guys.